But all the black kids at the orphanage are super bummed that they don't get adopted.
Now it's your turn. Jump in.
No, fuck that. No, these two can dig their own fucking grave without me. All right. I want to tell y'all a bit of a story.
Oh, story time with
Blitz. Only like mild story time. It's not a story of mine.
Downplay it.
There's a point that we're gonna get to. That's why it's not a major story. But there was once a huge hip hop / R&B or whatever the fuck artist named Ja Rule. Now, Ja Rule was considered to be one of he was like the biggest like hip hop star back in like the early 2000s. Ja Rule was the guy, if you were listening to any hip hop stations or urban stations or R&B stations to some degree, you were hearing Ja Rule. He was playing with the hottest R&B singers at the time.
Are there any like mainstream songs we would know?
Probably not.
Oh,
not. I wouldn't expect y'all to know it. He had some top
at the time.
I highly doubt y'all would know it. Like this is, I could start naming songs, and I don't think any of them will. Like if you were listening to like
wildly popular, but not
wildly popular, were you listening to hip hop at the age of?
Well, so like within hip hop, wildly
within
popular,
hip hop, yeah,
never like leaked into like
and at a time in history in which rap and hip hop were definitely being relegated to the blacks. But this is like I said, early 2000s. You might have heard stuff. He had a really distinctive, like kind of gravelly voice, almost like a smoker's voice. I can't even like replicate it. I couldn't even begin to try and replicate it if I wanted to.
I mean, I've definitely heard his name.
Yeah, Ja Rule. I will pull something up for y'all later. Okay. But he did songs with Ashanti, did songs with Fairly Certain, did something with Sierra, did something with like, he was super popular in the hip hop space. Ja Rule, so he was the guy who was on top of the game at the time. And then there was this new up and comer named 50 Cent. And I don't know all the details that led up to this, but eventually Ja Rule, 50 Cent, the hottest thing in hip hop at the time, the up and comer in hip hop at the time, they start going at it. They are now having their beefs. They're going into their own beef. Eventually, that spawns into other people in Ja Rule's. I forget what the name of his label was. They start taking their own little pot shots. That's usually what happened. You have a crew going after another crew. 50 Cent was basically the protege of Eminem. He was brought in by Eminem, who is also the protege of Dr. Dre. So you have the entire like Shady record, Interscope, Aftermath. So Aftermath is going after Ja Rule's label and all that fun shit. Ja Rule eventually takes the beef to a level in which he does what is considered a cardinal sin by today's standards. And he decides to drag Eminem's daughter, Haley Jade, her name into a rap, into one of his fucking songs. And it is widely considered to be the moment that Ja Rule ended his own career. Cause that prompted Eminem, at the time known as Slim Shady, to go on to make two of the most like crazy diss tracks of like rap them before Kendrick and Drake. It wasn't on the same level as like Hit 'Em Up by Tupac, but it still was one of those things that cemented Eminem as like the guy you don't mess with. You just don't get in the battle with Eminem. You just don't. And if you're going to, you sure as shit don't mention Haley. You just don't mention his daughter. Ja Rule committed that sin. And I say all that because notice Ja Rule ain't really got much of a career no more. There's a song called Nail in the Coffin that is considered the moment that Ja Rule's career ended. That was a song by Eminem in which he literally put Ja Rule in the grave. Yeah.
That's cold.
And that's why the most you've heard of with Ja Rule in recent years is two particular instances. There's one in which you definitely have probably heard him for, which was called Firefest.
No way. He was involved with Firefest?
He was involved with Firefest. He was not the main showrunner behind it, but he was supposed to be the main act behind it. When they were advertising Firefest, their big thing was like Ja Rule's going to be there, and Ja Rule's co-producing this, and like his name is super tied to Firefest.
I remember seeing some stuff on that. Yeah,
which should let you know, like,
I'm sure I heard that, but I didn't know who that was.
You would not have known who he was, but this is who he is, right?
Yeah.
The other thing you might know him for is the continued ire of 50 Cent's pettiness. So 50 Cent, since the official beef ended way back in 2000, whatever, 50 continues. 50 is a petty motherfucker. He's very funny to watch his pettiness, because he has continuously taken pot shots at Ja Rule, just to, like, it's not in like a reigniting it or trying to live the glory days type shit, just like because I know it annoys you. I know it annoys you. And the culmination of that, one of the pinnacles of his pettiness, was Ja Rule some years ago. I think this were like,
is it closer to like kicking him while he's down, or like, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching
a
you?
lot of it was that. Then one of them becomes kicking him while he's down.
Okay.
The one in particular is, I want to say this is like 6-7 years ago or so. Ja Rule is performing a concert. Ja Rule has not been very popular, so therefore tickets to Ja Rule's concert are bargain bin prices. Like, literally, you could get on Groupon and just buy them for like $15 a piece.
Oh no. Oh no.
Well, when you are now running a rap empire as one of the guys who used to diss Ja Rule regularly, and have all the money that comes along with that, along with the money from your TV endeavors and everything else,
Didn't do it.
what do you do other than wait for those tickets to become so cheap that you can buy up every front row seat
I
to his fucking concert?
I think I saw. How recent was this?
This was some years ago, but it comes up every once in a while. You've definitely seen this.
I remember seeing something on this. I didn't look into it, but I remember.
It is actively one of the funniest things to have ever happened. And as long as 50 Cent tells it, it is true. That happened. This is not a internet lore thing. This is something 50 Cent did because he thought it would be funny.
Yeah, it's one of those you could do the funniest shit right now moments.
It was
That's
just
so
the front
good.
seats or the whole
It
concert?
was I think like the first like it wasn't the whole thing, but it was like the first like 7 or 10 rows or some shit like that. He just had like an empty front row.
Enough that just like there's a big section where there's just fucking nobody, but not enough where you just gave him like a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
Enough to definitely annoy him, to the point where it's like, if any photographer were to try to get a shot of him on stage,
You're just gonna get a shot of an empty crowd and you can't do anything about it. So I told that story because those who do not know history are doomed to repeat it, or at least try a very bad imitation of it. Because our old friend Drake is back in the public eye.
There's no fucking way.
So,
He didn't try to start a land war in Asia, did he? He didn't invade Russia during winter, did he?
I hope not. He might try.
I was going to say, give him time.
You give him time, but
Let him cook.
So I wasn't even planning on doing any more updates with the whole Kendrick thing, because like Kendrick recently announced he and SZA will be doing a stadium tour. Basically they're going to be touring and doing the whole GNX with the rollout of the GNX album. They're going to be doing a stadium tour most of early to mid 2025.
Sweet.
Part of the stadium tour, a leg of the stadium tour, is going to be in Toronto, Canada.
Yeah.
As we know, is Drake's hometown. Now, this is where I'm going to be 100% honest. It is very likely that this is internet bullshit, but it's really funny to think that it's true. There was a thing going around that said that to really stick it to Kendrick, Drake allegedly bought up all of the floor seats at the Toronto stadium that they'll be playing at.
This is the opposite, though. He didn't win the beef.
So the real funny part about that is, if you do that and you didn't win the beef, Well, there's a number of reasons why this is really funny. One, like Izzy said, because he didn't win the beef, for one. So this is not just petty trolling. This is just sore loser trolling.
Mm-hmm.
But
you're giving money.
Even beyond that, these are stadium seats to a show that will be sold out by the time, or if people will be trying to sell out. Stadium tours are different than arenas. Stadiums are the place pop stars usually perform in, which are usually like way bigger than like the usual arena concerts we go to, where those tickets can range for anywhere between like $50 and $300. A stadium tour ticket is ranging anywhere from $400 minimum to a couple thousand.
Damn.
I mean, he did buy some multi-million-dollar necklaces as
He did.
Rueben. He just really likes paying his
He
enemies.
has a gambling problem. He has paying his enemies. He really does. He really does. And so you buy up those tickets. And here's the fun other part about what Drake is doing versus what 50 Cent did. You see, no one knew 50 Cent did what he did until the night of the concert. It's almost like a key part of that strategy is for them not to know you did it, because Drake announced before someone gets on here. Yes, we know it's not proven. It's probably false. Who gives a shit? It's fun. But if Drake actually said he was going to do this, the funny response back is Kendrick just goes, and we're just going to make all those seats free.
Yeah.
You just paid for everyone to get into the concert. Thank you, bro. Like, I can't find any sources that corroborate any of this, but I've been loving the idea of it so much that I don't care. And it's like, man, that would just L's all around, bro. Just
the way you were going at it, I thought you were going to come and tell me that Drake just absolutely lost his mind and started to insult Eminem's daughter. Like,
that would be extremely hilarious. And
Can you imagine?
given that
That would
Kendrick,
bring Slim back.
that Kendrick is essentially a stepbrother to Eminem, because both of them are proteges to Dr. Dre. And how close Eminem and Kendrick have been and have worked together, it would be really fucking funny if he decided to try and drag Eminem into this. And I kind of want that to happen now.
I would love to.
I would love for that to happen now. That would.
Slim Shady comes back for one more hit single.
You say that like he didn't just put out an album this year.
What I'm saying is
Slim Shady.
Yeah.
That would
Like
also be
actual Slim Shady coming back to
because I don't think
the shit down on Drake, bro.
Yeah, because other than some responses to people dissing him over the last couple years, I think the last real like diss tracks rap beef he was in was with MGK, and that was back in like 2018, 2017, one of the two. I don't think he's really had to do any like direct disses at anybody recently. He's had people try and come at him. We had the whole Nick Cannon thing that happened a couple years ago. That was fucking embarrassing. Then a bunch of like old heads that kept coming out of like Melly Mel and like people like guys that are like pioneers in hip hop, but like were just mad that Eminem's a white boy. And that's all their anger is that Eminem is white and he raps real good and people say he raps real good. It is like, it's silliness. So it would be kind of funny to see Drake try and go at. It would be extremely hilarious if Drake goes at Eminem using Haley, because Eminem doesn't have a wife or a woman for him to go after. What it would be really funny though is everyone knows how much Drake is in love with Rihanna, or at least used to be, until she married A$AP Rocky, and Rihanna didn't want shit to do with Drake, which is the ultimate rebuff.
Didn't Eminem kind of have something like that going on too with
Mariah Carey?
what's her name? Yeah.
Something like that. It was that they might have dated and she just wouldn't. It was like less that he was even in love with her and more just she just would refuse to say that her and Eminem had a thing at all. And that was his big thing with her. That I still don't know what the fuck is going on with that, but I know that did result, and that's what resulted in Nick Cannon going after Eminem. But it was like 7 years too late because he had already divorced and was like split from Mariah Carey. It was really weird. So like
So
going
weird.
is like it's a weird time gap for you not to really have done anything in the moment they were going at it.
Yeah.
You waited till after y'all were already split, and it's not like Nick Cannon was in any kind of like dire straits or anything. Like it's not like Nick Cannon's hurting for money or like clout or fame
Nah,
or,
he
or
just had-
children. Lord knows he's not hurting for children.
He's just been stewing on it for these 7 years.
Yeah, and decided that going after Eminem was just the thing he needed to do. It was so embarrassing because he made like 3 fucking terrible diss tracks, like not good at all. And Eminem did not give him the time of day. Like Eminem just ignored all of it, and
Cool
that was
story,
like,
bro.
cool story, bro, and just went about his day. And that was like that was the best way M could have responded to it.
That's funny.
And that has to sting. Like you made 3 diss tracks, 3, my nigga, like, and none of them were good. And he had battle rappers with him that like know how to make like good tracks. It just like
3 strikes and you're out. Bro.
He started on the 3 tracks 7 years ago.
yeah.
Was sitting on him for
Just been
7
sitting
years.
been trying to get him
No, he's been polishing them.
polishing
this
them
whole
off for
time.
7 years.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, nah, Brody, that didn't work out. But yeah, so there's not a shred of evidence that says this whole Drake Kendrick tour thing is actually happening. Because I know Drake is supposed to be doing he announced it on XQC's stream. XQC, right?
Oh,
The weird finished
yeah.
XQC.
The white, blonde,
White, blonde,
white-haired-
Me Kenyon made fun of him in that one animation the
yeah,
one time. That was really funny.
Check.
Yeah, that guy.
Check.
And he acted exactly like that during that
does.
stream too. Because I guess
What political was it? Trump that hits, or was it Kamala that did something? I can't remember.
I doubt it would be.
Trump went on the Joe Rogan Experience, if that's what you're referring
Yeah,
to.
but I feel like one of the political candidates met with XQC.
Probably Trump.
It probably
if it was
was Trump.
either one of them, it was Trump, because that's
And then there was Trump meeting Aiden Ross too.
he did that. Yep.
The Milk Boys or something like that podcast or something.
Yeah. I don't think Kamala has done any touring with any of the streamers and shit, which people
No.
say is like a part of the reason why she lost, and I don't think that's it at all.
Well,
I don't think
There are
Kamala
many
appearing on any of those
reasons.
would have changed. Because people, so here's
yeah, well, I don't know. Yeah, because I don't know if it would have changed, but I do think it is a great way to reach, literally, because that's how most people view or
here's where I'm good. Here's why I disagree with it. It's not her going on streams that I disagree with would have lost her. Is that the ones people wanted her to go on
are
are
ones that-
already alt-right conservative.
Yeah.
And I don't give a fuck what you want to say. Joe Rogan is alt-right conservative. Y'all can spin it and try and spin it whatever way you want to. He is, and that's how he's always been.
He's conservative masquerading as open-minded. but,
Yeah. Conservative masquerading is libertarian, more or less.
Yeah, you're right.
But like, yeah, almost every one of those spaces that everybody wanted.
Libertarianism is inherently conservative. Anyways.
You're supposed to say that out loud. Oh shit. Oh fuck. You weren't supposed to say that one out loud. But all the spaces in which people were like, Kamala should have went on this, and that, and the other is like, those are already conservative spaces. Like these are already spaces that were pro-Trump for years. Like
that's the weird thing too with everything, because there are so many different things that could have been done that could have helped, but not one of those different things in particular would have won her
would have actually made a difference.
Would have overcome the fact that racism.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, XQC. You know, since we're already here, I'm going to talk about it. What's really funny about Drake being on the XQC stream and announcing that whole thing is, actually, this gets into another thing. XQC didn't even know Drake's music that well. But XQC has been like,
Wait, I know what you're about
you
to
probably
talk.
know
I've
this.
seen this. Yeah.
XQC has been like basically glazing Drake through the whole like Kendrick battle and has been like shit talking Kendrick. Gets Drake on the stream. They pull up Scorpion. He doesn't know Scorpion, the album. he's like, they're trying to like quiz him on like Drake's music, and he doesn't know most of it, is playing The Weeknd's music, and Drake is like, fuck this, fuck that.
Yeah.
It's the most obvious. XQC has no idea what the fuck he's getting into,
Or
but
he's trolling him.
or he's trolling him.
Which, I don't know. The clip that I saw definitely looks like a big fat troll.
I don't know XQC well enough to even decide.
So, I wasn't sure if you were going to mention it, but like at one point in whatever stream he was doing, this is the clip that I saw specifically. I didn't know he was playing a whole bunch of stuff on whatever stream that he was doing with Drake. But the one particular clip that I saw was one where, and again, this could have been edited. This could be fake too. But like the song that played was Not Like Us. He was like, okay, what about this one? And then Not Like Us.
Okay, that's edited. That's not that never happened.
I
on the
wasn't
stream.
sure if that was fake or not, but like
there was one song of like the What About This was a The Weeknd song.
Oh, okay.
And which that's when Drake was like, turn that shit the fuck off, like whatever. That was to a Weeknd.
And then Drake got up or whatever. And,
yeah, no,
okay.
that was edited. That was absolutely edited. But
That would have been funny.
it would have been funny as shit.
That's why I thought I was.
It would have
like,
been
bro,
funny as fuck, but
he's
no.
trolling the fuck out of.
No, the extra thing that's funny about Drake on the XQC stream, and it's not even about going on the stream itself, is that there is a particular streaming personality we know of named DJ Academics, who has been Drake. He has been in a conversation with Maul of Rory and Maul for a while now of who can gargle Drake's balls the best. Like, they have been just fucking going at it, or who can slobber the most on that goddamn, who can slob on that knob the best. Lays, like, who can polish that fucking doorbell better than the other one can.
Jiggle my ball.
Like, and the hilarity of Drake has appeared on like 4 or 5 different streams and will not give Academics the time of day. Like, still just will not appear on the stream. I learned was supposed to at one point, and then literally blew him off to go be on someone else's stream that night.
Damn.
And is like refusing to be on the stream. And I bring that up.
I would have been so pissed.
I would have been too. And to find this out, this happened this was before the beef. Like, this is not even about the beef. This was a couple years ago. But
Royalties gone.
Should be. But I bring that up because there's a particular YouTube rap reviewer / rapper himself that I really like. You know of him, Screwface Jean. On a during one of his recent streams, Ak brings up a tweet by Screwface, in which Screwface Jean basically not even calls him. I was gonna say call him out, but he doesn't even call him out. He just goes, Ak, I see what you're doing. I see that he called it a soft rebrand of like, you've been giving Kendrick a lot of props you did not give him during the battle, and you've been much less hostile towards Kendrick than you were during the battle. And Ak brings up that tweet, and for like 30 minutes is just going off, and it's on like different tangents and trying to make himself sound good, but he's never really addressing anything that's said in the tweet. And for just there's just a 30-minute segment where he's just going on and on about how the tweet is wrong, but never actually responding to the tweet.
Man, if somebody calls you out like that, you just gotta fucking own it.
Just own it,
just like,
or just go, because it was in the middle of him also giving Kendrick props that he didn't give him during the battle. Like, you clearly have, like, if you could have just said, like, the response to that tweet is, yeah, outrage gets clicks and clicks pays my bills, and that's all you, like, that is all the response, and we would all go, make sense, make that back, bro, fair. Like, we all know that's what it is, but instead of that, he kept going in these weird tangents and offshoots and rabbit holes that was trying to, like, I'm not being different at all, but it's like, bro, we watched you talk so much shit about Kendrick Lamar during the battle and how, like, things like stuff, like, you are giving him props for stuff you were calling trash during the battle. Like, also, in the moment.
I don't know. This is kind of crazy, but you're allowed to change your opinion.
Also, you're just allowed to change your mind, bro.
You could just say, I fucking changed my opinion.
Right, right.
Just say that.
I could see where though he'd be like, I built my brand on Drake. I can't
do this.
I can't abandon him right now.
But
this Glizzy's too good. I can't.
Yeah.
Build your brand on Drake. Fuck that.
Right. And then, which he didn't really like that. I mean, like, he's always been a Drake fanboy, but the whole like.
The only time you should build your brand on sucking a man's dick is if you're on OnlyFans. All right.
Hey, don't discount Pornhub and all the other
You're
ones
right.
too. Don't
You're
fans.
You're right. The only time you should build your
It's
brand
when you're in the adult entertainment business.
Yep.
But yeah, that was crazy, and that resulted in its own diss track from Screwface Jean. Really good diss track called "Whacked Out Murals." Whacked spelled W-A-K
from Kendrick.
No, from Screwface.
Oh,
he did a remix of "Whacked Out Murals" by Kendrick Lamar.
Okay,
and he's using it, and he used that to make a diss track to Academics. Really good diss track. Fucking scathing too. It's really good. So shout out Screwface, because that was the hilarity I needed this week. Like, I just needed something to laugh about this week, and that's you delivered. It's crazy seeing all the people that were in Drake's camp, especially those who aren't even really tied to Drake, and kind of how just fucking silly they look.
How chaotic.
And just chaotic, and how just it's like, it doesn't need to be this way. Y'all could just go, look, we had fun with the beef and all that shit, and I played my part because that's what we do as internet personalities. Mm-hmm. And now I'm moving on, and I can admit that Not Like Us is a really good song. Considering it's your number one on your Spotify rap this year.
Oh shit.
Which was another fun thing to find out, that and he accidentally showed this on stream, I guess, because he was going through his Spotify shit, and I think Family Matters was his number 2, and he didn't mean to show that his number 1 was Not Like Us. And it's like,
that's so fucking dude.
Do you know how much you have to be listening to a song that dropped halfway through the year to get it to your number 1 on Spotify Wrapped?
Mm-hmm.
You had to be listening to that bitch back to fucking back for a while to have it as your number 1 at this point.
The song that's usually on my number 1 Spotify rap is not the song I liked the most. It's the song I never skipped.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So for this year, it was Chihiro. I think that's how you say it, by Billie Eilish.
Sure.
But yeah. Anyways.
Fair. No.
My favorite song this year is probably...
My Spotify rap actually shocked me, because my number 1 song was not the song I thought it would be.
Did they do that for 2020?
Yeah, it dropped already. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it dropped
Like
beginning of this week. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think like Monday.
oh.
I mean,
I'm blind to like banner ads.
Oh yeah.
I just am going to my music, and I did not see it at all.
Right.
mm-hmm. But nah, my Wrapped is kind of fucked, because I totally did not think about like sleep music. And every night,
oh yeah,
I'm like, Google, play sleep music, and then it plays from my Spotify. And there are apparently things you can do to get it to not, like, you can tell it to not count certain playlists and stuff like that. So, but I've also heard that doesn't necessarily work all the time. So regardless, my Spotify Wrapped is nothing but sleep music, and it's very annoying.
Right. Which, fair. It's really hard to, like, that's how, actually it's weird. I don't really listen to my Spotify when I'm at home. Like, Spotify is an outdoor thing for me. Like, it's when I'm usually disc golfing or I'm off. Sometimes I'll listen to it while I'm working, but usually that's podcasts, and and if I'm not listening to a podcast, I usually just turn on like YouTube videos or something. It's weird how my music listening habits have changed. No. What was I about to say? What's the crying machine? Is that
my favorite song this year was "Walk On By" Lilly Young.
By Will Young?
Lola
Young. Nice. My favorite song this year was Hey, this Steve I. My favorite song. What was my favorite song this year? I would say my favorite song this year was definitely probably 616 Lilly by Kendrick. That was my favorite song this year. Well, I don't know. It's a mix between 616 and LA, Saint Chroma by Tyler the Creator, And now Man at the Garden by Kendrick Lamar. But Kendrick managed to take it my number one spot as my number one artist. But my number one song played was The Crying Machine by Steve Vai. And I never remember if it's by amount of times played or amount of minutes listened. That's the one thing I always forget. But I was just looking at mine and I was like, man, I forgot I listened to some of these songs this year, but it's still somehow my number one. So,
mine, it's like, again, all my stuff is like sleep music, so I'm not counting it. But if I had to say what my favorite song was, it'd probably be one of the songs released by Temanite or the newest album that Virtual Riot dropped. Maybe like
I didn't
just a few weeks ago. He's got some really good bangers on that one. So nice. I don't know. I'm a EDM dubstep person, so
that's this guy.
I'd have to choose one of those bangers.
Right. How many minutes did you listen this year? What's the number you got?
Not that much. I think it's like 29,000.
Okay. Yeah, my number is way down from what it used to be.
Bruh.
I wish I kept track of what it was like 2017, 2018.
That would be
because I was listening to
that makes sense.
Minutes, yeah.
Because sleep music, it's 199,000, which is literally half a year.
Yeah,
that's 180 some days.
So fun part of that. Particularly 2020 through like 2023. My Spotify Wraps, because at the time I was working with Dominic and I would be listening to music all day, like legitimately all day long. I would listen to music at work. I remember I was getting my numbers up to like 120, 130.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember where exactly I was 2018, 2017, but I was in a pretty similar spot. But that was because I was really sad.
Fair.
And music was the only thing that got me through the day.
That's fair enough. This year I only had 32,000.
Oh, really?
Just shy of 33.
Yeah.
I have 50K.
Nice.
I find that's what I rack up from like commutes, time spent alone, and a little something at work.
Car ride, disc golf is about all the time I spend listening to music these days.
I think this year for me, if anything, it was probably more. Take away the sleep music.
Take away the sleep because
take that shit away.
We don't know how to take that out yet. Yeah, we'll figure out.
But like for me, it's like I think I've listened to way more podcast stuff this year than I have like
that too.
Any
also
year.
that too. Shit to the podcast. I'm sure if you rack up all my audiobook shit and like stack it in there, it'd be obscene. But yeah, because I don't listen to everything on Spotify.
Right.
YouTube. I listen to Audible.
Yep. Does Audible have some kind of like wrapped thing that they do too, or no?
No way, no. I don't think they would.
Look, no, they probably do. It's just not as good as Spotify's.
If they do, I've never seen hide nor hair of it.
Fair, but yeah. Oh, I used to take so much pride in how much music I listened to, and then I became a big boy. Like an adult, I've been a big boy my whole life. I have been a big boy since like I was 4.
I wasn't gonna ask, but
yeah. But yeah, that's the fucking music world. A lot of real silly, stupid, goofy shit is going down, and Drake refuses to and between that and the fucking lawsuits, which have just gone silent.
I was gonna say, like, do you realize how stupid that was and like retract it, or is it still?
Well, they might compel arbitration. Like I said, compel. They might go to arbitration.
I will also say I called it a lawsuit. They were never lawsuits. They were petitions. They were like pre-lawsuits, which can still get you pregnant. But yeah, that's just kind of gone quiet. So they could be because lawyers have told them to shut the fuck up about it for a bit, or because they're just going nowhere. Who fucking knows? Almost everybody's on the same boat, which I think I forgot to mention. He did add, so there was the thing about him going after UMG. He did eventually, after everybody was like, "Are you fucking dumb? You're going to go after UMG, but not for defamation." He did add a defamation petition for Not Like Us, but I think it's still aimed at UMG more than it is Kendrick. But at the same time, it's like, but even then, you told him to say it.
The fact that he didn't do that first is
sus as fuck. But the whole, like, it's going to be very hard to prove defamation. One, because defamation is hard to prove to begin with, especially as a public figure. And two, because you literally told him to bring up you liking young girls in a song. People didn't let you slide on that shit. People remember Taylor Made. Just because you deleted Taylor Made doesn't change the fact that in Taylor Made, you told Kendrick using an AI doubling of Tupac's voice
He's probably going to talk about this. He's probably going to talk about that.
Not probably. He said use
The fact that he likes
talk about the fact that he likes young girls. That's a gift from me.
Yeah.
Drake said that out of his own fucking mouth.
Yeah.
And then ran it through an AI voice modulator. Like you told him to say it. So even if this goes to fucking court, there's no defamation here because it's info you told him to say.
No,
He wants his ass to get caught.
Tupac, Your Honor.
No, it was Tupac who
Did you
said
not
it,
hear the
man.
song?
Yeah.
Ghost.
Your Honor, I don't know if you believe in the concept of possession.
Yeah, no, all the stupid goofy shit has been going on with that because Drake refuses to let things go back to any kind of normal. And people get real mad that actually it's funny because a lot of the Drake, like even the more hardcore Drake fans have given up on trying to act like we're blowing everything out of proportion. It's like, no, he's just doing all of this. Like, you don't see those complaints anymore of like people are, oh, you guys are dragging out the beef. Oh my God, can we just move on from Drake and Kendrick? Oh my God, this is so outplayed. Even those aren't happening anymore.
Because he's just doing it to
Because
himself.
it's like he's doing it to himself. So, yeah, that's the end of that. All right, let's get into some Reddit stories. Which one I want to do first? We'll do this one first. All right. So, as always, from Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for refusing to share my dinner with 2 children?
Yes.
This is a woman, 29. She has a boyfriend named Albert, 35. Albert and I had a great relationship until his family moved closer to us. I haven't seen a more toxic or entangled family connection. It seems like every ex and their mother is an enemy. Every ex-boss had it out for them. Every friend should help out more and more. Everyone should take their verbal abuse more and more, and everyone should take their verbal abuse. After a few run-ins, I cut mother-in-law off. His sister, female 37, is in the habit of showing up at dinner time. She has two kids, 7 female and 9 male, that she always brings along. I didn't mind sharing a meal, but I hated her dropping by without warning. Albert never took action, and this created problems. Sister-in-law has an unbearable parenting style. They are good kids, but she overindulges them and lets too many things slide as they are just kids. So they interject in adult conversations, have crying fits when told no, and are prone to grabbing, touching, or taking objects without permission. So they take things around the house, cupboard items, small sculptures, stash of hotel toiletries, hair extensions.
Not the hair
like,
extensions.
what the fuck? To play with them and had me going crazy trying to find them later. Fast forward, and her son, who has anxiety, had a small crisis from opening our kitchen drawer and grabbing some poppets, party snaps, Poppet/party snaps. Some fell and popped real loud, and he cried because he was embarrassed. I did not offer comfort because that would be indulging his Snoopy behavior. So I stayed quiet and asked Albert to talk to his sister, which I'm sure he didn't. I'm not happy in my relationship.
Damn.
I don't have privacy. His sister keeps showing up despite being told by myself that she can't keep showing up uninvited. I'm sick of having to hide things that I think her kids could get their hands on. I recently put a lock on my home office door because I suspect that sister-in-law has been using my copy machine while I'm out. I work both at home and at 2 client sites and have been getting home after 8 p.m. I'm sick of being tense and dreading her visits because he lets her eat through our groceries like she has a right to do it. He has called me selfish and greedy. I thought he would be more considerate now that they gave him less hours at work, and his pay cut has caused me to pay for most of our bills. Sister-in-law is a nail technician and a hairstylist. She was also a teacher at a beauty academy until she had her kids. Now she won't do anything but badmouth her ex and complain about how hard her life is. She has a place to live with access to food and her own car. I'm thinking that she may be doing this on purpose. Last Friday, Albert went bowling with friends. I told him that I wanted a very quiet evening and didn't want to be bothered. I got home at around 7 p.m. and sat down to eat my seafood boil. Sister-in-law showed up asking for her daughter's backpack that she left behind. That seafood boil sounds fucking baller right now.
Right. I literally was just thinking that. I was like,
it sounds so fucking good right now. The backpack that her daughter left behind. I was annoyed. I tried to rush to get it, but her son saw the crab legs and started insisting. I said I was sorry, but that's my dinner. So he starts crying, stomping, and repeatedly asking his mom for my food. I said I was sorry and quickly showed them out. To my aggravation, they didn't leave immediately. He cried outside the door for about 5 minutes while sister-in-law sat inside her car trying to convince him to get in. I pulled down the shutters and tried to ignore them. When Albert got back, his face had a bitter expression. He said that he was extremely disgusted about the way that I treated his family. He has stopped talking to me. It's been a few days and I'm still getting the silent treatment. I've cried a few times, especially because he's been texting me despite us being physically next to each other. Sister-in-law showed up yesterday, but he wasn't home yet, so I didn't let her in. I'm angry and defeated, and I'm coming to the conclusion that I need to end this relationship because he texted me that I need to apologize to sister-in-law. I didn't want things to end between us, but I feel like they are trying to walk all over me. This is surreal. We had planned on a cozy Christmas together months ago when things were good. I'm not trying to ruin his life. Okay. When things were good. I'm not trying to ruin his life. Right now, his finances are not great and my salary makes a huge difference. I just don't want to be made to feel like his family can get away with what they're doing, and I hold resentment. I texted him about how I feel and how incredibly selfish he is to be comfortable giving to his sister with what my hard work can buy, but can't think to respect my boundaries. Am I the asshole if I leave? I feel like somehow I'm the failure for not being willing to fight for our relationship.
What?
Get the fuck out of there, dog.
Run away.
Yeah.
Run away quickly.
Yeah, he's definitely not seeming like he's trying to put up boundaries, and anytime that there is a chance to, he never takes it. So that's big red flag.
Yeah, that's fucking red flag number
Well,
one.
I wouldn't agree with some of the ways that she handled things. I think that overall it sounds like she's overwhelmed, instead of trying to establish reasonable boundaries and being ignored at every turn.
Yeah.
What part of her,
It's time to leave.
right? What part of her handling did you not agree with?
Oh, given that she says that the kid has anxiety and then him being anxious and then just ignoring him, I don't think that's necessarily appropriate. But also given the way things are going, I don't think I would have handled it any differently myself. So
Okay, I was gonna say it's to me the anxiety thing was kind of a weird thing to
throw in.
There, yeah.
Not because it's unimportant, but because the situation at hand didn't really have anything to do with his anxiety. It was he embarrassed himself by getting scared, and his first response is to always cry about it because his mother lets him.
And she always comes to his rescue,
right? Like, even all that shit aside, right? Like, at 37, bitch, get the fuck out of my house. Just get the fuck out of my house because we told you to.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean shit if Albert is not going to get off his fucking hands. Yeah. And I don't want to say be a man because it shouldn't even be about that.
Be an adult.
Be a fucking
adult.
And being the fucking older of the two in this scenario and this being your fucking family, I get it. I have a lot of love for my family, but I have an absolute refusal to let my family walk all over me. Mm-hmm. And you're not going to walk into my space and fuck up my peace. That's just not going to happen. Mm-hmm. And for me, I know for a fact that when it comes to me being in a relationship, the person I'm in a relationship with comes before my family. That's just how it fucking is. Mm-hmm. That's the person that I go home to. And if I'm going to be making anyone comfortable in this situation, it's going to be her. Mm-hmm. Like, I understand people have ways of thinking about this, but this is extreme. Like, this is you don't give a fuck about your significant other.
Mm-hmm. My blood is thicker than water.
Says people that don't know how to read the full fucking quote in context.
In all but familial bonds.
Says people that need an arbitrary justification. The blood of the covenant
is thicker than the water of the womb. Quite literally, the phrase is the bonds you create are stronger than the bonds you were born into.
Yeah,
Like-
I think the whole thing is a lot longer and more complicated, but yeah, that's basically what it boils down to.
I mean, it's more about your relationship with God, the blood of the covenant, i.e., your relationship, the covenant you gain with Christ and God is stronger than like God is more important than all in life, right? But the colloquial way that we've been using the phrase is still more about like your formed relationships are stronger than your born relationships, I guess call it, whatever, right? Either way, there's people that I know that are close to their family and are going like love having that like free open space, and I'm not against that. Like I'm not against that. I live with both of you fucks for I don't know why I'm so aggressive right now. You chuckle fucks. But like y'all know your sister had free reign to come and go as she pleases. You know your sisters have free reign to come and go as they please. Like I know me and my siblings don't visit each other like that. We're more of a congregate at mom's house kind of type. But I'm definitely for like come and go as you please, but y'all know that for me, a major rule was no kids. I wanted my space to be child free. That's it.
I didn't know that.
It's not.
It's a good thing
to
that I
you.
never brought
Like,
any kids.
Good thing you never brought me.
Well, there's that, but then there's also just the fact that I don't think we really had a bunch of kids like that we would bring to the house, really, like ever.
You got 2 nephews. One of them was born halfway through us living there. Like I got my nieces and nephews, and I was like, I'm not going to be babysitting, and I knew that for a fucking certain. So like outside of like the holiday shit, like we knew kids weren't going to be an issue. But at the same time, it's like I'm not going to subject that, especially if you know that these kids can be good, albeit overbearing, like a little too much. Like y'all ain't that.
Yeah, well, they're treating well, and there's a pretty big difference between having an open door policy and then without having an apparent need, treating somebody else's house like a second house.
Yeah.
And to the point where you're intruding on their like sense of privacy and like security within their own home. That is different.
There's a major difference between that. I'm curious I'm curious how great this relationship was beforehand, because she said it was a great relationship.
Yeah,
and it's true. Just proximity of his family, which I can see this being he's probably used to just giving his family whatever the fuck they want, because his sister sounds entitled to shit. Like, yeah, and over her own head when it comes to raising kids.
I would like to know a little bit more just about his family, period. You know, right. Like, is there a reason why they moved closer in the first place? You know, or is it
yeah?
And how much of his family, right? Did I don't know if she said or not, but like, is it just the sister-in-law, or is it like them, the parents, well, I think she said something about the mother-in-law that she cut off.
She cut off the mother-in-law for whatever reason.
I want to know more about that too, actually.
Same. Info, are both your names on the lease? If just his, how fast can you move out? If it's in your name, I genuinely do not understand why you haven't kicked him out yet. If this is a real post. We are both on the lease, but he's the main tenant. I didn't leave earlier because this has been a slowly simmering situation with ups and downs, and it had never gotten to this point. We used to be very happy, never had animosity or fights. I explained the situation to the landlord this afternoon and will be able to leave, but I need to issue him a letter. So this just gets into like the legalness of getting out of that kind of situation.
Is that the only thing OP?
No, there's a few comments. I'm just looking through to see. Okay. Baby trapping. How the fuck did this come up?
Say what?
Also, I learned that the button here that says that I thought was just a title that says single comment thread. I thought this was the title of the block I was looking at. This was a thing you could actually click on to get to. There's a lot of Reddit stories where I complained about not being able to find the original comments they were replying to.
Yeah, that you found out.
I found out that clicking on this button, when it's a button, can get you to
usability.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, Reddit's not always been known for its user experience. Yeah. Not the asshole, but you better lock down your contraceptives while you plan your exit from this dumpster fire of a relationship. I would just say lock down fucking the dude again. Girl, why are you with this man? He prioritizes family more than you and puts you down in your own house. I hadn't thought about the possibility of baby trapping things.
Oh, I see.
Which fair. I don't think sex would still be on the table to me in this situation. But if she's still at the point where she hasn't realized that this dude, you are the lowest thing on his priority list when it comes to his family. And like, that's hopefully it sounds like she's kind of realized that in some of these later comments, but it's like, that's, because I couldn't imagine a lot of things, if I'm being particularly honest, when it comes to these Reddit stories, but that's not great.
Mm-hmm.
What do we got here? Let's see. Hurry up. He will come home one day to an empty house. All my items will be gone and numbers blocked. No, ma'am. Run as fast as you can in the other direction. Thanks. That's what my best friend says. I'm trying to find a small office space or a cubicle that I can seal and lock so that my work stuff and documents are definitely out of his reach. He's trying, and so this is a comment reply to that. He's trying and succeeding, I may add, to break your will. Right now, you're doubting yourself and allowing him to mistreat you and demand an apology where none is due. Call someone for support. Have a conversation with him to break up, if possible. Record it. Then make him leave the house. If you can't legally, then put your valuables somewhere safe and move out. It will be much better than to keep living there. You deserve better. That was something. That's a conclusion I was kind of coming to of. I can't. She doesn't really say how long they've been together. Yeah, she doesn't say how long they've been together, but part of me definitely believes that this is a pattern that he's used to being in, and is one that clearly it hasn't always worked out because he's now with you again. You're now getting to see it, but he's definitely trying to force you into a much more submissive, subservient part, and he's trying to minimize you and getting you to the fact that you're even asking, are you the asshole in this situation? Is this play at work? And now why he's doing it,
I
once
do like
again,
that she rephrased the question at the end where she's just like, am I the asshole for just leaving?
Yeah, I was about to say, like, it's interesting how like it's always like this one specific thing with the am I the asshole, but then it's always a way bigger situation
the
than
actual
just the question.
Yeah.
Right? Like we need to address something way bigger than am I the asshole for not sharing my food with these kids? Like
it's like no, but that's not the situation at hand here.
The problem.
But yeah, I feel like somehow I'm the failure for not being willing to fight for our relationship. It's like you have fought for it. Like, or at least it's one of the things. And I've told this to some girls I've dated before, is like, there's one thing I won't do. I will fight a lot of things for my relationship. I will fight a lot of people for my relationship. The last person I'm fighting for my relationship is the person I'm in a relationship with. You are not the person I'm going to fight for this. That's then, because at that point, what the fuck are we even fighting for? Like, what am I'm not about to fight you to either love me or let me love you. That makes no fucking sense to me. That's not fighting for your relationship at that point. That's fighting someone to love you back. Because at this point, we shouldn't be fighting each other for this relationship. At that point,
they're using you to fight their insecurities, which just is not a healthy dynamic.
Which is, that's not healthy at all. And it's like, if you're at the point where fighting for your relationship means fighting with the person you're in that relationship with, I won't say you're beyond, the relationship's beyond saving at that point, but you're definitely in it. Shit's like 1 foot in the grave.
You got to take a hard look and have some hard conversations. And
you have to see if they're not willing to have that conversation, then there's nothing else to fight for. There's just nothing else to fight for at this point. I want a quiet evening to myself without your sister and her fucking brats hounding me down and making a fucking scene outside my apartment. Should not be a difficult ask. That shouldn't be fucking difficult. But yeah, it seems like he either very much does not care about you, or he cares about his family way too much over anything else.
Yeah.
And to the point that you may as well not.
Even if he prioritizes his family differently than most people do, that still is not appropriate.
This isn't appropriate at all. There's like, once again, I'm not against people finding their family to be like very high levels of importance to them, or like high priority, right? But there's valuing your family highly, and then there is letting your family walk all over your significant other.
Mm-hmm.
Like
making your significant other apologize for their own personal space.
Apologize for their fucking home that you weren't at, and she told you she didn't want to be bothered.
Mm-hmm.
And but the thing you're mad about doesn't even make sense, because you're mad that she wouldn't let the kid eat her fucking food, that she was eating for herself, like,
which was probably fire. Like, I wouldn't give up my.
I'm not giving up my fucking seafood boil. That shit costs like $40 fucking.
Exactly. I'm not giving it to a 7-year-old kid.
That's $40
probably
at a cheap place.
Also,
Yeah.
at fucking 9 years old, are you serious, my G? Like, this kid has been. Also, no mention of, like, the little girl apparently is fine. It's just the son, which I guess is why she mentions that he has anxiety. That is probably where it becomes important.
Mm-hmm.
But like 9 years old and throwing tantrums like this, bruh? Nah, G. Nah, no. Abso-fucking-lutely not. And call me harsh. Say that y'all are glad that I don't have children, that I will make a terrible parent. If you want to, go for it. But
somebody need that belt, bruh.
Someone need their ass whooped. At 9 years old, no.
Whip out that belt.
But I'm not going to blame the kid for that either, because that's his fucking mother letting him do that for years. Like, kids don't get this way just because of who they are. And like, there's a lot of things that will happen because we are individuals as humans and we just have our lived experiences. And there's a lot of things that are going to come from a kid having anxiety, which part of me also looks at this and go, does he have anxiety, or has his mother found a very convenient excuse for not actually?
I could say the behaviors he's showing don't really demonstrate anxiety. They demonstrate some lack of regulation, some dysregulated emotions.
But this isn't because of
you don't have a panic attack because somebody says they can't. Well, generally speaking, you don't have a panic attack because somebody says you can't eat their crab boil.
Yeah, which he didn't have a panic attack. He just had a tantrum. This is classic fucking textbook tantrum having. And yeah, like, no, it's clearly you're not the asshole.
Kid's got colic, beat it out.
It's got colic, beat it out. The way you said that made me think of like a mob crowd just outside.
Yeah, beat it out of.
Just
What?
the kid's got colic, beat it out of.
What's the Boondocks?
A show.
Have you tried whiffing them?
Have you? Oh, that comes from what episode was that?
Have you tried?
It's one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah.
Have you tried whipping his ass?
I've beaten his ass.
I think that comes from the episode where they introduce a pimp named Slickback. I think.
Oh wow.
It's either the Slickback one or it's the Return of Stink Meter. One of the two. And I'm trying to remember. I don't think it's Return of Stink Meter. I think it's the Slickback episode.
I've seen that clip.
But my God, that's so fucking funny. Have you tried whipping his ass? Beating his ass? Just... Oh man. Anyway, yeah, no. Clearly you're not the asshole. Like it's get the fuck out of there quickly. Yeah. Like just fucking run as quickly as you can.
Like try to have a conversation. If that conversation isn't even had because he just refuses to listen to you, yeah, he's not going to listen to you.
I wouldn't even say try a conversation. She's tried to have these conversations.
Yeah.
She has said in a couple times in here, like, I have talked to him, I have texted him, I have told him how I felt. Matter of fact, I text him about how I feel and how incredibly selfish he is, and he's giving her cold shoulder treatment.
Oh yeah.
Like laying in the same bed and refusing to talk to her and texting her instead.
Yeah, that's petty shit.
That's petty shit at 5 years old.
That's petty passive aggressive shit.
Right?
I can't stand that shit. Yeah.
Run as quickly as you fucking can. Like this is a situation where more talking is not, like, diplomacy has failed. Like more talking is not going to achieve a better result. You just have to fucking leave. And you won't be the asshole, and
they will think that you are. They will say that you are.
No one fuck them. No one gives a shit.
Manipulative assholes will definitely
of course
try
he'll
to turn it around on you. Right?
And when he inevitably tries to fucking snot and cry and shit and piss himself about how he won't be able to afford that apartment on his own, look him in his eye and tell him, well, hopefully your sister and her fucking kids can help you, because clearly they're the ones who mean the most to you.
Mm-hmm.
since you are the one who has to foot this fucking bill and he's just giving it away to somebody else, fuck him. No, he can figure that out for himself.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Blink and you'll miss the Toyota-thon.
I blinked.
It's gone. Well, better luck next year.
Well, we'll try again. All right, we got one more here. This is from TwoHotTakes again. I get so much shit from TwoHotTakes. I should go listen to their podcast one day, and so I know who the fuck I'm stealing content from. So this is, I want to move in with my boyfriend, but his dog is an issue. Advice needed. Before you call me a dog hater, I volunteered.
Dog hate.
Before you do that.
Too late.
I volunteered at my local animal shelter for over 10 years and have fostered well over 10 dogs. I love dogs, from pit bulls to pugs. Having a dog isn't a problem for me. My past partners had wonderful dogs I miss dearly, and a couple I've even trained. I don't own a dog currently because I foster, and we get lots of dogs who need to be only dogs.
Dog hater.
Okay, now you can call her a dog hater.
Yeah.
Anyways, my boyfriend, Tom, and I have dated for 2 years. We are both in our late 20s. We live separate, but we're both in our late 20s. We live separate. My boyfriend, Tom, has had his dog, Bosco, since he was a puppy, and now Bosco is 5. Bosco is a pit bull Malinois Doberman mix. Saying Bosco has issues is an understatement. Yeah. If we got a dog like Bosco out the shelter I volunteer at, he will be put down immediately.
Damn.
Bosco has bit me once without warning, has bit Tom over 6 times, bit Tom's sister twice, snapped at his nephew 3 times, and snapped at his nephew 3 times. Each bite, there's a theme between both these Reddit stories. The grammar has not been super great in the way it's written, but anywho, and snapped at his nephew 3 times. Each bite has drawn blood. Bosco has maimed a dog that got loose and killed a neighbor's cat.
Oh, shit.
Bosco has torn up every place he has lived. He won't stop barking if Tom is away. Bosco has never gotten Tom evicted, has even gotten Tom evicted in the past. I would estimate Bosco has caused over $20,000 worth of damages.
Bro.
Tom has tried everything for Bosco, from medications to different types of training. Nothing has worked or lasted. I have a thought about that. Once I get to the end here. At this point, Tom has spent over $10,000 on behavioral interventions for Bosco. Bosco also has a habit of escaping, at one point breaking a window. If Tom leaves for errands, Bosco needs to be muzzled and kennelled.
Oh,
he will come back with blood on the floor from him trying to escape. As cruel as it sounds, Bosco has pretty much taken over Tom's life. Tom had to decline being the best man at his best friend's wedding because no one would watch Bosco.
What?
Tom can't travel. He is in debt due to Bosco, despite having a good paying job. Tom even mentioned most women ghosted him after he laid out the rules they had to follow if they visited.
There are rules?
Yeah. Well, clearly. you gotta fucking figure out how to be around Bosco. He can't leave the job he dislikes because it is work from home, and he needs to monitor Bosco to prevent him from escaping. There are other work from home jobs. Do not fucking give me that bullshit. Tom has never spent the night at my place because he will get noise complaints since Bosco will bark all night. The other night, Tom brought up how his lease was almost up and how he'd love to move into the house I inherited. I live in a neighborhood with lots of little kids and roaming cats. Not only that, but I don't want to live in fear of getting attacked by Bosco. I told Tom I cannot live with him unless he puts Bosco down. Ooh. I cannot in good conscience let Bosco be rehomed knowing his history. Tom cried a bit, saying he understood, but I was cruel to suggest he should kill his best friend.
Like your best friend.
Hold on, we'll get there. He has gone back and forth saying his dog will always be there for him, from saying his dog will always be there for him to saying Bosco has ruined his life. I feel bad for putting him in this situation. I wonder if there's anything I can say to comfort him. I really think Bosco is an active threat to the public's safety. I want to convey that to Tom.
The way that she spelled threat
is spelled treat, actually. I tried to autocorrect it for y'all.
I'm surprised that
I should have.
I'm
Bosco,
proud of you, though. I'm proud of
Thank you. I really think Bosco is an active treat to the public safety is what's written, but she meant threat, and I want to convey that to Tom. Sorry if this is badly written. I had a couple glasses of wine. I forgot about it.
Okay, that makes up
for a lot of things going on here.
You good.
Almost forgot. I'm in the South where animal control is pretty much useless, so it won't be much help with Bosco. Tom has begged both me and his sister not to report the bites. TLDR, my boyfriend wants to move in, but his dog is fucking dangerous.
Not report the bite.
I'm amazed that fucking neighbor who you killed his cat didn't report you yet.
Yeah.
But holy fuck.
So if that dog was biting at my kid, I would just not ever come around you ever again.
But apparently the sister's fine with it. She got bit fucking 3 times herself or some shit.
Yeah, no, the dog is definitely, out of hand for sure. The dog is out of line 1,000%.
I didn't think I could be convinced that a dog should be put down.
You wouldn't think you needed to. So here's the thing, right? I do think that dog needs to be put down. Clearly, that dog is a fucking menace. But I question. So for all the money that Tom has spent on behavioral training and all the stuff that she mentions that Tom has done, she's only been around for 2 years of it. So I'm curious if that's just what he's told her he's done. But even if he has, just like with any living creature and when it comes to behaviors and shit, you can buy this stuff, but given the way he's acting about Bosco now, if you're not enforcing that shit, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
And part of me is looking at this and going, because you are not telling me that Bosco is just rejecting all forms of training. And you've had this dog since he was a puppy. I don't believe that for a second. Right. I can believe that Tom has spent the money for this shit. I don't believe Tom is following through. To me, this is, I just have to question Tom. Have you followed through and be fucking truthful? Because at 5 years old, we're seeing what the product of his environment that Bosco will be.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know about this situation to put the blame on Tom. Especially, the main reason I say that though is because I know a lot of people that don't have the time to train their dogs or things like that and send their dogs to a trainer. Send their dogs to somebody who's able to potty train their dog, help sit, whatever kind of training you think your dog needs, and get really good results. So if he's spending the money and having their dog engage with experts and not getting any results.
Here's where I'm going back to that though, because I don't believe he's not getting results. I don't think Tom's following through with results. That's where I have a lot of questions about how Tom interacts with the dog. And your dog is biting people and drawing blood and actively attacking people, and your solution to that is just beg them not to report. I don't believe he's actually I get the feeling that he is leaning on Bosco being his best friend for whatever fucking reason. I'm sure there's legitimate reasons in which people love their animals. I get it. People have their animals in their lives to fulfill whatever emotional need that they have in that moment. But I'm also looking at this and going, Bosco has bitten you, your girlfriend, your sister, and has nipped at your nephew. I don't know how old the kid is, but has nipped at this kid, has killed a cat, has maimed other dogs. And I'm finding it hard to believe that this is just because this is just Bosco's nature.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I'm getting at here.
Yeah, I feel pretty similarly as well. The reason that it makes me hesitant though is because this is somebody who has a lot of experience with dogs, and clearly has a lot of passion for the animals, knows how to be around dogs, and we have no textual evidence of the fact that it might be Tom's fault.
Yeah,
we just don't have. She never even hinted at the fact that it could be an issue with Tom's training. Now, I would be curious to see, because I'm sure plenty of other people be thinking, well, you're thinking it. I'd be very curious to see if she commented.
I mean, if you get a dog and you raise the dog, how likely is it to be a psychopath, right?
Well, yeah, I don't know. The way that I'm thinking about this is, as someone who is married to a dog lover, right? We have a nice dog, right? Like, definitely not this, obviously. But as someone who's married to somebody who has legitimately asked her if it was me or our dog dangling off the side of a building, she literally hesitated. She's literally hesitated. Like,
I know.
I'm putting, like, the whole fact of, like, Tommy, like, this is my best friend. It's like, and then the whole aspect of her putting on, you got to put it down or be with me. That's where I'm like, I don't know about putting down.
Well, she didn't say put it down or be with me. She says put it down or live in my house.
Well, no, she said you have to put him, like, she said, put him down or live in the, like, she basically said you need to kill it or, you know.
Yeah, the ultimatum is you're not moving in with Bosco, and we are not rehoming Bosco.
Yeah.
And you're not endangering somebody else for Bosco.
The danger that she sees him being to the public, which I get. I think there are other options besides just killing it, but
like
there's probably homes somewhere for troubled dogs that people will willingly
releasing
take
it into
care
the
of.
wild.
You tried whooping his ass?
Flying it out to Alaska.
Have you tried beating his ass? I mean, I don't know what those would be, but as somebody who knows how certain people who are very emotionally attached to their dogs react to certain types of ideas and suggestions, that's probably not the first one I would have put out there. I don't know. That's just me. Now, definitely the dog is out of line. He needs to be trained better. Tom needs to be doing his shit and making sure Bosco isn't doing that shit, and the training that he has had is being enforced in the home, right? Obviously, it doesn't seem like he's doing any of that. To your point.
There might be a home that with informed consent would still take a Bosco.
There are definitely, there's plenty of people that like make it their life mission to train untrainable dogs.
Like, my whole thing is just the whole ask of you need to kill it in order for us to be together in the same house. Like, I don't know about that.
Whisper.
They can be together and not live in the same house.
Yeah,
That's perfectly
like
viable.
the entire point is you're just not going to be moving into my house with this dog, and if you want to move in, we got to do something with Bosco. And to her, and I trust her expertise on this. I trust her judgment on this one. Is like Bosco is such a danger that trying to rehome him, even she says like it's just not in good conscience to try and rehome this dog, knowing what this dog is willing and capable of doing. I do agree to a point because nowadays, like, people have built entire social media brands on like taking in the untrainable and figuring out, trying to figure out them. Like down to it. And I do think it's a little bullshit of the once a dog has bitten a person, that's just an immediate, that's the end of that dog's life.
Yeah,
I think that's a little bit bullshit in a lot of cases.
A legal thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of, if someone is willing, if someone takes it to the police, like if your dog has bitten somebody, even, and what makes it extra bullshit is that even in situations in which that person is in the wrong and the dog had all right to defend itself and or its home, the dog still gets put down. We had that happen with one of my family dogs back when I was like 10, 11 or so. A guy, like, he didn't necessarily break in, but to break in is like we had a lock on our driveway fence. Mm-hmm. We didn't, but he was back there doing some shit like around, and we had a musky Malamute mix that bit him like this strange dude, like in our fucking backyard. Like, who are you and why are you fucking here? Our dog bit him, and we had to put him down.
Oh,
like that's just, I think that's fucking bullshit because it still never answers the question of who is this motherfucker and why are you like you're trespassing, like you're literally trespassing. But
yeah,
people get dogs and train them for that purpose,
for trespassing. But I will say we did have a beware of dog. We might not have had a beware of dog sign. I think that's where we went wrong. I'm not certain, but like
you didn't have postage warning of a dog to make sure that people didn't trespass on your property.
I know, right?
That does kind of, well, like that. Given my own knowledge of how. My limited knowledge of how like
trespassing laws are very interesting.
Yeah.
Like trespassing laws, even beyond the animal bit of it, trespassing laws and a lot of that kind of laws and liabilities stuff is weird because there's certain steps you have to take in I really don't want to like. I don't want to talk about this because I don't want to open myself up to scrutiny. But there's
that every week.
Honestly, we really do. There are certain steps you have to take as a homeowner. So like so I think we've all heard about this in like business law or like some kind of law class.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot booby trap your house.
Yeah,
that's why shit.
Damn.
Like and there are certain things you have to do as a homeowner.
I guess I can't home alone my house.
You can't fucking home. You can't home alone your house. It's also why shit like a burglar can break into your house.
So should Kevin be arrested then?
Technically, but then that gets kind of confusing because he's also a minor and
Judy.
This is true. So fuck you, Kevin. No.
Continue. Sorry.
What the fuck just happened?
Home Alone.
Oh,
He definitely would have
His name
killed
is
those guys.
Kevin.
Oh, he killed those guys a couple times over.
Oh yeah, and they came back,
And they kept coming back for more.
round.
Like there is no house worth being burgled enough.
Or no kid worth chasing down it.
That much.
literally in the first like scenes when he's slipping on the stairs. Like one of my relatives had a fall like that on concrete, and they had to get like facial reconstructive surgery. Like because they like broke their eye socket.
Oh,
like, and he fell from the top of the stairs all the way down onto concrete and it hit the back of his head. Like,
yeah,
you're done,
he
man.
knocked himself
You
out.
fucking
That's
done.
just it.
I mean, even the bricks. Like, I think even before
that's
the
right. I forgot about the bricks.
chucking bricks from the top.
That's in the second one, but yeah, you're done.
Oh yeah. I guess they did slip on the stairs in the first one too. I
Question
forgot about that.
Did Kevin ever call the cops in those movies?
Yes,
He did.
He did call the cops. Okay.
It was like at the end of the movie.
Are you serious?
So he led them through his house, fucked them up, went to the neighbor's house, or called the cops on his neighbor's house, led them to the neighbor's house where they would be caught. That was the plan.
Oh, okay. That they pull the phone cord, don't they? Did that happen at the beginning of those movies? I haven't seen Home Alone in
the
many years.
First one, I think that's what happened.
I don't know if they didn't pull the phone cord on his house because he still called the cop. He like
From his house?
From his house. He's like, my name is blank, I live at blank, 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 but it wasn't his house, it was the neighbor's house.
Oh, okay.
Because that's his whole thing. Like he went to the thing. They don't explain this. But
Right.
like he went when he went off his little zippy line to his tree house and ran over to the other house.
There's something really funny to me about this kid. Is so smart that he has set up multiple increasingly intricate traps. Has never once thought to just call the cops. These fuckers out of his
Never
house.
once thought that just have them be there
Right.
as they're trying to break it. Just like
vigilante himself.
Right. Back to this fucking Reddit story that I've completely forgotten about. Someone says, I'm worried about Tom's safety. I've seen stories where dogs turn on their owners, and I'm sad for Tom, Bosco, and you. I'm not. There's a lot of people that are like expressing like they feel bad for Tom, and I'm like, I don't. This is a situation where I just don't. I don't feel bad for someone who's.
I feel like he would. Like you have to see what's happening.
Like I find it hard to feel bad because Tom, even with great intentions, Tom, like you're deluding yourself, bro.
He's got blinders
And I
on,
can't
for
feel
sure.
bad for you. Like I can't feel bad for your delusion. Bosco is probably fine the majority of the time and is lovable then. It's just the other times that it's scary. Trust me, I am too. Oh, sad for Tom.
Yeah,
Tom is also worried and goes through cycles of paranoia with Bosco. I wouldn't be surprised if Tom had some like PTSD. Could be traumatized living every day with the thought he may either kill or be killed by his best friend, which Tom has to get that fucking best friend thing out of his fucking head.
that's not your friend.
That's not your friend.
It's your
And
dog.
your
Your dog isn't.
insistence-
It's your. Sorry, not your dog can't be your friend, but that's your abuser, my guy.
Yeah,
In
your
this scenario,
insistence
yes.
that dog is your best friend is largely probably what's creating an issue here. Is that? And there's another comment. Did she mention it here? So this is OP, but she doesn't mention it here. Someone else mentions. Wow, where'd it go? She mentioned the sister. Where'd it go?
Sisters
You
and
were hovering
naive
over something that
animal
said
lovers. Is that what you're
the
looking
sister.
I saw that one. That wasn't the one I was talking about. It's the sister and nephew no longer come over unless if Bosco escapes. The only threat is to Tom. Tom now lives in an apartment with a balcony, which if Tom tries to escape from, he'll die.
Bosco.
Sorry, Bosco tries to escape from, he'll die.
Bosco, Tom escaping Bosco.
But basically, to summarize it, I can't
This
find
bitch broke a fucking window.
right.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past Bosco to still try.
She mentions in here somewhere, the sister is just as much is one of those, is an animal lover type, and is a
Tom's sister.
yes, Tom's sister, the one who got bit and the one who almost got her son bit, assumedly, is an animal loving type that believes all animals are angels, and that any wrongdoing they do is because they triggered it, and is like that's pendulum swing.
That's delusion.
That's delusion. That's just being delusional. Like,
It's just
and
wrong.
and that also is why I'm kind of looking at this and going, I can believe Tom has hired like either training programs or medication. I don't believe Tom is following through on this shit.
Or he thinks that once he hires it, it should be fixed, right?
Right.
Like he's under that delusion.
That like it's just because you spent the money on it and you started a treatment or a regimen doesn't mean the problem is now fixed. It's going to take a lot of deliberate work. And it's also going to take saying no to your dog and letting your dog be uncomfortable with certain shit. And I can't see Tom doing that.
Not if he's your best friend who like you love and no matter what he does, right?
Right. Like,
he really wants to eat the little sister, so you should just let him, or he's gonna.
Well,
he has anxiety.
he has anxiety.
He's my
anxious.
best friend, you know. I gotta let him have.
He's
what he wants.
anxious and he'll throw a tantrum if I don't let him eat your son. I don't know what are you responding to? Yeah. My friend's dog bit me last month. We have been friends for 6 years and he's had the dog the whole time. The bite was so bad I went to the ER.
Damn.
Because of all the past issues with this dog. If I had said his name at the hospital, he would have been put down that week. I spared his life, but this is a comment, by the way, that is not the OP. But it was I spared his life, but it was a moment of my weakness. I just couldn't deal with killing my friend's dog. However, every time I see him, I ask him if he is ready for me to make the appointment to put his dog to sleep. He smiles and says the dog is getting better. My friend is delusional. He and I have discussed dating for years. I flat out tell him that keeping this dog is a total turnoff for me. I wouldn't phrase it. That's a weird.
That's not how I would phrase
That's
it.
a weird framing for any of this, but okay.
Man, well, you own that dog. I just can't get horny.
It's just fucking Sahara down there, man. I flat out tell him that keeping this dog is a total turnoff for me, and I'd never date him because of his inability to manage or even acknowledge his ferocious animal. Someone will get bit soon enough, and I hope that person puts this dog to sleep.
Damn.
Jesus, that got harsh. That got harsh. Like, holy fuck. OP response to this comment: many people are delusional about their dogs. I've seen it at the shelter where a dog has extreme needs and behaviors, and the owner is talking about what we will need for their next home. They think if a shelter means no kill, it legally means we cannot put an animal down. No research whatsoever. We have put multiple animals like this down. We will give them a wonderful last day, though. Like that. So that was not really in reference to much of anything. I don't know what the thread on that was, but yeah, this is.
Maybe you just gotta, pitch a delusional solution to this delusional man and say, hey, maybe not kill him, but we'll see if they got a shelter, knowing that they might just put him down.
We'll elect him president.
There you go.
That
People would vote for him.
People would. People probably would. That was not nearly as unhinged as I thought it was going to be. I'll be honest. I expected you to go way. I thought you were going to start vamping on us again.
I thought you were going to start vamping on us, and I was going to have to leave the room.
Yeah.
I don't have after listening to this, I do not have the capacity to hear your bullshit.
Just deal with this bullshit.
I mean, I guess that was my hear me out solution. Just
no, that's
pitch a very delusional
in this
solution.
take. That's actually a good solution, because at this point Tom just needs to let this fucking dog go, and he won't. I would be very interested in getting a lot more information about Tom and this dog. I don't know why I'm speaking so weird. Like anyway.
You're good. You're good.
Because I'm very curious of like what Tom's what the last 5 years or the 3 years before OP got involved with Tom has been like between Tom and that dog, because. Like I get what you said earlier. Like, we have no information about that time to say one way or the other, but I fully recognize that. So this is pure conjecture on my part, but I don't see this level of misbehaving in a dog and it being the dog.
Yeah, I find it really hard to believe that Tom has no responsibility onus. I can't find the word right now, but yeah, isn't partially responsible for the behavior of Bosco.
Right.
I do see that. I have no way of knowing.
None of us do. None of us have a way of knowing. We don't even have a way of knowing if the story's real.
But if I meet Tom in real life, I'm gonna have to put him down too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm honestly surprised that they let him go
argument
after
whatsoever. Yeah. We just have to put Tom down. That's the problem.
But no, I'm surprised they let Bosco go after the cat. I mean, the bite.
I'm still real confused how they got away with that cat.
If a dog fucking killed Mike, they must not have known it was Bosco.
It has to be. It has to be.
There's no other way.
Like, it has to just literally be, this is...
An animal killed my dog, and they're like, Bosco came home yesterday with a bloody mouth.
Yeah, Tom was probably like, Bosco definitely did it. I'm not telling them that, but Bosco definitely did it.
On bad breeding, and I don't think there's any way of helping them. People do mention that it could be bad breeding. I don't know enough about how breeding works. I do know that there's a lot of problems that can be introduced if bred by people that are not proper, but I always thought that was more medical shit.
He says he had it since a puppy, so it's probably not shit that happened at the kennel that made the dog fucked up.
Right.
Which it totally could be, because if it came from like a puppy mill or something like that, the way they pack that shit in there, ooh, no.
Right. It's Malinois,
Malinois.
which is like... They're like a hyper, like those dogs need to work. Like,
which is another part of this of like, sometimes you need to understand what animal, like the dog you have. Like my mom got a, it was a mutt really, but like we still weren't entirely certain what she was, but no, it wasn't even my mom. I said my mom. My brother got a dog that he gave to my mom to train. And in the time, no, that's a lie. Because I'm thinking of Flower. No, there's a dog my mom had before Roxy. So my mom's current dog, the little Yorkie Poo, she had a dog before her named, what's his little fucker's name?
Little fucker.
Yeah. So she had little fucker, right?
Yep.
It wasn't Basil. It was, that's a friend of mine's dog. Either way, she had this dog, and she just got this, I don't even know where she got the dog from. My dad just like, she wanted a dog and my dad got her a dog. And I was like, y'all need to do a little more research than just getting a dog. But okay. So got this dog. I don't know where she got it from. I think they got it from a kennel or some shit. So this is while I was working with Dominic. So I just like, I'm on my weekend off and I come home and there's just this little puppy here. And I look and I'm like, my mom has no idea what fucking dog she got. Because you can look at the dog and see it has terrier in it. My mom is not an active person. Like my mom is not like off walking the trails and hiking and like doing like a butt fuck ton of shit, right? She is a at home chilling and leisure kind of person. I know what I said. Shut up. Like shut up. Okay. Like she's not doing a ton of shit, right? And I know what kind of dog that she needs. Like she needs a lap dog that just wants to sit in a like what Roxy is now. Roxy is absolutely the kind of dog that just wants to lay there and be, as long as she is having some kind of physical contact with you, like that's all she wants. And
sounds more like she needs an affectionate cat than a dog.
Right. I mean, a teacup Yorkie Poo does that. Like, it's perfect situation for her, right? But affectionate cat would work too. But my dad doesn't like cats. My mom's never been a huge cat person. But like, she has this dog. I walk in, I look at this thing, and I go, Jackie, you don't know what the fuck you're getting into with this thing, do you? And of course, she doesn't, because this thing is not only is it a terrier, it's a puppy, like not puppy in the way people use that fucking pisses me off way. Like puppy as in this thing had just to only be like 5 months old.
Yeah.
Like vibrating with the
freshly charged energy battery of a thing that needs a lot more like just action and stimulation than I know my mom was completely untrained because it's a fucking puppy. And like, then I know my mom's going to be able to give this thing. And it's luckily it took all of like a month of, it also helped that she was eating up the house. And the puppy, cute as could fucking be. Like, as far as behaviors go, she acted like a puppy. like nothing that a puppy wouldn't do. But she was hyper. She had a lot of energy. She would nip at you because like there was no other dogs around to like teach her and show her that way. And like she was being a puppy, and I was like, this is not the dog you need, Mom. Like this is you do not have the capacity to train this dog the way she needs. And even with training, she still needs stimulation that I know you're not going to be able to do.
You're going to have to put her down.
You're going to have to put her down. Like, luckily, we were able to just like rehome her. We got her to some folks that have their own dogs, had a big old yard, which was another thing. Like we didn't even have a yard for her to run around in. Like we were living in an apartment. So it was like all the space she had was like a 14 by 12 room that also had a couch and shit. And all the stimulation she got was like the times like my nieces and nephews would be over sometimes. But like, and it's just this thing of like, you got to understand that like you have to look at the dog you're getting. You have to at least know a bit about the dog you're getting more than just like, oh, this dog is cute. You got to understand that dogs, like, especially the way that we have bred them, dogs have needs that need to be met.
Yeah, well, you're taking responsible for a living animal that you're going to have to be able to take care of.
Yeah, like these are not ornaments for you to just have and to like be around you. Like these are not like piercings and tattoos and shit. Like this is not just for your self-expression.
Like that's the reason why I probably won't get another animal before I have somebody who can assist me with it.
Yeah, I refuse.
Yeah, I know you. I know you don't. We've had that conversation. I know you're not interested.
He's restating it right here on camera.
I was gonna say romantic partner, but they don't have to be a romantic partner. They just have to be another person that
someone who has the what's the word? Informed consent. I don't think that's the word I really wanted, but yeah,
I think I get what you're getting at.
It's a responsibility. Yeah. You have to understand that responsibility, and you have a plan of attack and action for it. I know I just don't have the capacity to deal with rearing an animal. I just don't want to deal with it right now.
Like if I was living by myself, I might do a cat just to have like something around that's an animal, because I can. Basically, the only modification of my schedule will be remembering to feed it on a regular basis.
But you better get a goldfish.
Cleaning the thing. But
it's official right here.
Even a goldfish sometimes, though.
I would kill a goldfish. I would kill a goldfish so fast. Let's be honest here. Because cats are very low maintenance, they don't need a lot of stimulation for the most part. But the kind of like taking it for walks and making sure it goes to bed, like I don't think I would be able to do that.
Yeah.
Well, again, it was a struggle to meet Gizmo's bare minimum needs, and I have regrets about the way I treated him in the last, I don't know, year or so of his life. Anyways,
right. Like once again, I know people love their animals, and I love animals. Like, don't get me fucking wrong. I do love animals, and like I absolutely plan on having my own dogs in the future, and I don't plan on doing it until after I buy a house. But like, this is not coming from a space as someone who I don't dislike animals at all. I just would like to say that I understand that they are a lot of fucking work, just like the same way that children are a consideration that you need to be properly considering. You can, which is what sucks.
You should not. It is irresponsible.
It is very irresponsible to have a child and no plan of action on how to take care of said child. To me, that should be the exact same thing with any animal.
If you can't feed the baby,
then don't have the baby. Fucking random Michael Jackson.
Is that what people have been doing? I've been adopting kids to work on my farm.
No, those are the later ones.
Wait,
those are the later ones.
Wait a minute. Whoa!
I've been adopting white kids to work on my farm.
There we go. That's better.
All right, thank you. Saved it. You saved it right at the end there.
Yeah.
Just regular child abuse.
Yeah. No.
Wait.
I do reject the sentiment that white kids are the regular kids. I don't know if whiteness is the default state of children.
God damn it.
Man, this is a trap. I'm so glad I'm not the one dealing with.
But all the black kids at the orphanage are super bummed that they don't get adopted.
Now it's your turn. Jump in.
No, fuck that. No, these two can dig their own fucking grave without me.
No, please.
That's a philosophical dilemma I don't need to explore.
Man, this guy's come by and adopted like 15 kids. What's going on?
Okay, imagine this. You are a child at an orphanage.
Mm-hmm.
The dilemma is,
Am I the asshole?
you keep getting picked over for adoption, but the adoptee is Diddy.
Ooh. Okay, so that
What
is
feels
technically
worse?
a would you rather
That is-
situation.
Speaking of would you rather,
Would you rather Diddy or the
be
system?
diddled?
Or stay in the system. It's like,
Oh my God, did y'all see? I know I shared it to y'all, but did y'all ever get a chance to watch that clip from the Ellen DeGeneres show of all fucking things? Which this is going to suck for her to be a part of. But there was an episode, she was doing like a Make-A-Wish episode in which the special guest was fucking P. Diddy.
Mm-hmm.
I think this had to be back in like fucking mid-aughts.
Did it not age well?
oh
No.
no. Absolutely not.
Absolutely
and even better,
not.
the clip that at least we saw
Yeah.
had
The fucking elderly response music.
when she was like, all right, P. Diddy, come out. And then the boss music started playing. And all these kids were just running up to him trying to hug him.
Yeah, they're like,
He picked up this one little girl.
Kiwi little boy. Oh my fucking
Boss music.
It ages so bad, given
Like-
both who Diddy and Ellen DeGeneres have turned out to be.
Aged like milk.
Oh, not even milk at that point. That shit aged like fucking
Potatoes.
no.
Call back to when we had kept potatoes.
Oh
in our-
fuck. Aged like a fucking rotten potato. That shit aged like ham soaked in milk left inside of a car in Tennessee during a Tennessee summer.
I could see that one really got to you on a sensory level.
Yeah.
You really did not like that.
No.
You were that hit you hard.
Yeah, I'm not fucking with that one.
The potato or what I just said?
What you just said. And then it didn't help that I thought about adding rotten potatoes in the trunk.
With a bag of bursted rotten potatoes in the truck.
Bursted, not just rotting, but like one of them shits burst and it now smells like active
All right.
shit.
Story
I
time.
got some roadkill.
We've
anyways.
told this story before.
On the podcast? Have we
I'm
told this
pretty
on the
sure,
podcast?
Which one?
The rotten potato thing.
Oh,
I don't think we talked about this on the podcast.
we may have mentioned it. I
We
didn't know there was
definitely
a whole
talked about
story.
this shit popping on the podcast.
Well, if we
There's-
never talked about it on the podcast, too bad for y'all. We're just going to believe Fluff and say we talked about it. So y'all are never going to hear that story then. If you've
if
ever
we've
dealt with a
never
rotten
talked about it on the
potato-
podcast, leave it in the comments and we'll talk about it on the podcast.
Yeah, let us know.
Talk about it again. We'll bring it up again.
Yeah, speaking
If this
of,
is your first episode, go fuck yourself.
No, sorry. No.
Wait,
Comment,
like-
subscribe, 5
yeah,
stars.
5 stars on Spotify.
Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate your
give us
presence.
$1 a month on Patreon.
Yeah,
while we're
OnlyFans
now.
soon to come.
Yeah, yep,
You do
OnlyFans
deserve
soon
to
come.
fuck yourself, though.
Yeah, now go fuck yourself. Holy shit. All right, I'm done with my bullshit for right now. Kent, what do you want to get into? I pulled this up.
That is one of the things that I mean.
I also think we've talked about this on the podcast before.
we talked
Or at
about
least-
something. With
We've talked about
chickens.
something similar to this. We did not talk about this specifically.
We talked about the closet one.
Yeah.
Yes,
But there's
done the
no
closet
way.
one.
This one's been going on for a while.
I don't think we've talked about this very
Yeah,
specific.
I
one on the
I know
podcast.
we've not talked about this specifically.
I would love for us to never mention what actually it is and then just not
Alrighty.
talk about it.
Never talking about it. We have definitely
Moving
not
on.
talked about it, and we will not be doing it tonight.
Oh, now it's break time.
Yes.
Okay, so it's would you rather? And I saw this, and the reason why I think this is personally funny is because I saw this after an episode of a podcast that I'm listening to, and it's a D&D podcast, and like one of the bosses that they had to fight was not an orangutan, but like a gorilla with a sword. But anyway,
King Kong.
A
yeah,
nigga.
I thought it was funny and relevant to that. So anyway, this is an interesting one to talk about for a second, but would you rather go fighting a chicken every time you get into your car or fight an orangutan with the sword once a year?
I'm gonna let you have your thoughts first.
If you're going for convenience, you go with the orangutan. If you want dinner, you go with the chicken.
I suppose that's one way to look at it.
That is one way to look at it. Give me that chicken any fucking day. I'm not fighting an orangutan barehanded.
I'm going to say here real quick, though, we're putting a lot of arbitrary restrictions by that statement. I'll just get a concealed carry, and that orangutan is fucked.
I mean, yeah, there is no restriction.
We live in America.
We live in America. That is fair.
If I can go out and shoot, dude. I can shoot a fucking orangutan. Come on,
Jesus.
Nobody clipped that.
That might not even made it to this fucking episode. We'll see. We will see. We'll see how I'm feeling about that in a couple weeks here.
But no, like,
I would like to amend my answer, actually. I'm just getting a fucking gun. Shoot the orangutan, the fuck?
I mean, you could look at that in two different ways, right? Fighting an orangutan with the sword, like, does the orangutan have the sword? Or do you have to fight the orangutan with a sword? Right?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
I thought it meant you had a sword.
Right. See,
I took it as the orangutan had the sword. Even if I had the sword,
I would still pick the orangutan. Actually, no, I would pick the chickens because that's dinner. But that's me.
How would you fight the chickens, though?
With my hands.
Chickens are scary. Don't get me wrong. Chickens are scary. I would not want to fight a chicken on a regular.
I mean, you would be fighting a chicken every, depending on how often you get in your car.
The want was the operative word there. Would I want to? No. But I'll get used to the chicken. You grab that thing by the fucking neck and one quick shake and you're pretty much good to go.
And then I I get out of the car, I hand it to somebody, I get back in the car, I kill the chicken again. I get out of the car, I hand it to somebody, I get back in the car, I kill the chicken again.
So what you're saying is you would turn it into a Minecraft chicken
He does this
farm.
a couple thousand times and then realize he never actually copyrighted he never patented the fucking technology. Someone else steps in, takes the patent, gets paid for every chicken that he creates this way.
No.
So Fluff is saying it's a business opportunity. Essentially.
Yes.
Honestly, fair answer.
Chicken will do a good capital. Like literally, it's an infinite chicken glitch. The orangutan is just once a year you have to shoot something. What?
Your color's yellow from now on.
Oh fuck!
You don't get to change it anymore.
Piss.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm taking the chicken. I feel like I can much more easily deal with a chicken. It also helps that I don't drive. Oh no, I do drive a pretty good amount.
A barbecue business, a food truck.
Oh, we talked about this. He lost that patent because he fucked up and didn't get it. He didn't get it trademarked fast enough.
There's no fucking patent. This is a magic chicken spawner.
Yeah, exactly. You got to patent that shit.
I didn't understand.
Otherwise,
I don't think you can patent the action of getting in a car.
You can patent the action of magically spawning a chicken by getting in the car. Otherwise, supply chains are going to come after you for dipping into their profits.
So I'll do it in my pole barn at night.
But who's gonna
know?
Bands are going to come get you.
Yeah, who's gonna also be someone who can magically spawn chickens though?
You never know. I have the ability to do it. Why should I assume that nobody else can?
I mean,
this is where chickens come from.
It's just where the chickens come from.
The chicken did come first because somebody got in the car.
Only I'm allowed to spawn chickens. That's my thing.
Yeah, that's a good capitalism.
Spawn something else.
Because if the question is which one of these would I integrate into my everyday life that I currently live, right? Like if the question is I don't get to turn it into an infinite chicken glitch. I don't get to do any bullshit like that. Just like in my day-to-day life, I go to work. Oh no, I have to fight a chicken. I'm going on a date.
Get in the car, going to work, get in the car, coming from work. Every time you get in, if you get to leave off for your lunch break, you have to fight a chicken.
Yeah,
Going to the gym is going to be a chicken fight.
You forgot
2
your
chicken
phone.
fights.
Yeah, let's say
phone is a chicken fight.
Let's say when you get in the car, you kill the chicken, and then you get out of the car, the chicken just disappears. So you can't give it to people, you can't cook it. But if you get back,
so it's just the inconvenience of fighting a chicken.
Yeah.
You could just get a motorcycle for the days you don't want.
Well, then I guess that's the question.
What is a car?
What is a car?
Yeah.
I'll just take the bus everywhere, ride a bike, walk.
Well, I don't know. I feel like a bus would kind of be in the
van.
same category of car.
Pickup truck.
Well, then where do you draw the line? Is an airplane a car, Kenton? Is it any contained metal?
What you're about to say is wrong. It
airplane doesn't have wheels.
Shit. All right, here's what we do. We get in a seaplane. No, those fuckers have wheels too, don't they? Do they have?
They have ones without.
They do have wheels.
Well, I know
you get in a seaplane and you remove the wheels off the seaplane and then you use it just to land off and on waterways.
So you decar it.
You decarify the
As soon as you
seaplane.
put the boat on a trailer, it becomes a car.
You travel. You travel exclusively by hot air balloon from now on.
By that logic, you could put wheels on anything and it's just a car.
Yeah, because the wheels on the bus go around and around.
Wheels on the hot air balloon, it's a car now.
Oh yeah, it would be, but we don't have.
Your mom, it's a car.
If my grandmother had wheels, she would be a bike.
Put wheels
BMW?
on your barbecue. You open the barbecue. You
barbecue
close
already
the
has
barbecue.
wheels.
Oh,
They already have wheels. Yeah, there you go. So but you can't get in the bar.
It don't got an engine though.
It doesn't have an engine. What the fuck are we even arguing at this point?
combust.
What?
It's a combustion.
It's a stupid question.
We're
Tough question.
We're trying to not fight the orangutan. Is what we're doing.
I'm perfectly happy with the chicken. I'm perfectly happy fighting the chicken. I have no interest in fighting the orangutan. I don't think we have to.
Let's just do both. It's once a
All right,
year.
fuck it. We just
We're
fight
gonna
both.
deal with the chickens anyway.
I then start up a new social media accounts that's just about me fighting this fucking orangutan. Because honestly, just the spectacle of me being around an orangutan is enough. Like,
honestly, that would catch. I think
it
that
probably
would.
would.
So you got the payout once a year, and then you do the barbecue the rest of the time.
There you go.
Or appease the orangutan with some of the chickens.
Yeah.
You know.
Do I have to fight the orangutan to a standstill?
You fight the chickens. You don't kill them. You capture them, and then you unleash them on the orangutan.
You're right. There you go.
Hey.
There you go.
But then the question still remains, or at least this other outline question: would you fight an orangutan who has a sword as their weapon? They can't use anything else. Or would you fight an orangutan with no sword that just has their fists, and you have the sword and can't use anything else?
The answer is no in both cases.
I just totally missed what you said.
So
would you fight a orangutan barehanded, but you get to wield a sword?
No.
Or would you fight an orangutan that's wielding a sword? Like the
Okay,
question
if
is,
I got a
you
sword
could wield the
against an
sword, would you fight the
orangutan?
orangutan?
Is
I
it
think
just a plain old non-proficient orangutan?
I think I might be able to come out on top if I had a sword. If I had a sword that could cut, I think I might be able to do okay.
I think we are vastly underestimating how
The capacity, the reach, okay.
the reach, the agility, the power, the
strength.
speed of an orangutan, as well as the amount of expertise and training needed to properly wield a weapon like a sword
that could kill an orangutan.
to kill an orangutan in a sufficient amount of time in which you're not probably going to get horribly fucked up by said orangutan.
Look,
if you're asking if I have to fight the orangutan, I would rather have the sword. You're right.
if I'm not, there is no way under God's green earth I'm fighting an orangutan barehanded.
No,
there's no
absolutely
way
not.
because that orangutan is gonna do this. He's like, "Here, fucking look."
I'm scared of this orangutan, and you're not even the orangutan.
That's my
just
skull.
it. That's all it is.
Well, I guess. That's the thing.
As
though.
it's coming in for the hug, you're just pressing the blade into its heart.
The orangutan can't use their fists or anything besides the sword.
What the fuck are you
That's
talking
even
about?
scarier.
Well, like the orangutan can't let go of the sword,
Sir,
but you have to be barehanded.
the wild flailing.
So
I'm afraid of one of you motherfuckers with a sword in hand just flailing about like that. There just isn't much that's gonna happen from that.
if there was an orangutan with no arms, I would not fight that orangutan.
I would still not fight that orangutan.
I don't know if you ever watched too much Animal Planet, but one of the reasons why our brains grow so big is because we lack the jaw muscles that apes have. Do you know the reasons apes' brains are so? One of the main reasons apes' brains are so small is that their jaw muscles come up, go over their head, and are the size of our biceps at a minimum. Okay,
Jesus
they
Christ.
will fuck you up, dude.
They are scary as shit, bro.
With their teeth,
Yes. Also,
but they can't use their teeth. just the sword. That's what I'm saying.
Even then, that's still a situation I don't want to be in.
Yeah.
Like, you realize the random flailings of a sword with 10 times the strength of a normal man is just not a situation you want to be facing down.
That's fair. That cleavage, that like the amount they could cleave you. I knew what I said the instant I said it, and I had to change it. I
kind of think this guy wants to fuck the orangutan.
This guy just wants to fuck the orangutan. I was like, have you seen like how big and also how smart orangutans are?
Yeah.
Like orangutans are irrationally smart. Like
Orangutans can learn how to use a sword.
Have you seen the one that drives the like?
That's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, the one that can like drive the. There's one that just fucking rides the whip in a golf cart.
Really?
Yeah, it is. It knows the whole deal. Damn. Orangutans are crazy smart. Like orangutans, there's the one orangutan that would like bust its like cage mates out at some zoo. It literally like just hid a paperclip under its gum. Would take it, lockpick the door, let all the other ones out to go do whatever the fuck they were doing, and then it would hold back and just like chill, just so that like it to keep, because it knew it kept suspicions off of it. Until one day they installed cameras and were finally able to catch it and see what was going on.
Damn,
like orangutans are scary. Like there's a reason that in the Jungle Book. Particularly the live action remake, that the fucking orangutan was like the scariest character in that movie.
Fair.
Christopher Walken.
Did you guys watch the clip where an orangutan is instructing somebody how to sneak food to it into
love that.
It's so good. It's like
no, bitch. Did I send you the one with the voiceover?
I think you did. Yeah,
it's so funny.
It's fucking good.
Funny.
I don't remember if I came across it organically, if you sent me to it or what, but it's so good.
Oh my god, it's so funny. I've definitely sent it to you. We have to pull it up for you later. It's so fucking funny. The voice. It's already funny seeing this thing like instruct a woman to open her purse, get the snack, and then bring it over to a specific part where there's like a hole in the wall or the glass or some shit, and it's like you could like pass through, like fucking pass it, motherfucker. Like
contraband through the
it's extreme. It is supremely funny with the voiceover. Mm-hmm. Like the voiceover work is so funny. Orangutans there's no scenario here other than me fighting another giant primate in which I want to be facing the orangutan, and even then I probably still don't want to face the orangutan.
Fair enough.
Because it's like facing a smart bear.
Yeah,
basically. It don't got the claws, but it's got the strength. It's got the size.
A swipe from it is going to put you down no matter what. Yeah. Like with or without the claws.
Yeah.
Also, like I think orangutans do have this kind of story, but like just like the fucking strength factor of they will just rip their opponents apart, like. Mm-hmm. Like not metaphorically, like legitimately just grab and rip
for fun.
Not a little bit, like just territorialism and just the way they fight is so underhanded. Well, not
violent.
It's so violent. It's so fucking violent. Like I just don't want to be in a scenario. Yeah. Give me the chicken every fucking time. I can figure out the chicken.
Now, if I have a .45 caliber and I know how to use it, and the orangutan is at a distance,
and you give me prep time.
I think if you give Batman prep time, he can beat the orangutan.
He can beat the orangutan eventually.
No. Kevin versus an orangutan.
Oh, that orangutan is fucked up.
That orangutan is fucking
Kevin
dead.
Prep time?
Oh, Kevin prep time. That's
Kevin prep time. That orangutan ain't gonna make it up the stairs.
The only person that can handle Kevin prep time is Batman prep time, and that's still going to be a close fight.
Yeah,
that's still going to be
assuming
a close
Batman
one.
Could get close, right?
Assumedly.
Batman's coming out tarred and feathered.
Batman just has to figure out how to get Kevin out of the house. That's as soon as he can get him out of the house, Batman wins. But
domain expansion.
God damn it. I can see it so clearly.
I might have seen something like this before somewhere.
I mean, I've seen a whole bunch of people animate like other cartoons, like do domain expansions, but then I've seen a Kevin or a Home Alone cartoon, but I don't think I've seen a Kevin McAllister domain expansion yet.
is the house a domain?
Yeah.
He gets perks.
It may as well be, honestly.
Honestly, the way it's set up in those movies, it basically does.
Yeah.
He has like dominion over said domain.
He does.
All entities inside gain immortality.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Entities inside gain immortality and face traps at every turn until they give up.
Just a fun house of horror.
That's honestly the scariest thing about him, because in the first one, yeah, it's his house, but in the second one, he proved he could do it anywhere. So, like,
He literally does it
true.
in a fucking abandoned house. Yeah.
True, he does. He does. As long as it is a place of dwelling, he can turn it into his house of horror.
The chicken weighs 3 pounds on average.
Makes sense. Sounds about right. That's actually lighter than I would have expected. That's
average.
That was a bit random. Like, why did we bring this up?
Oh, we were just talking about like this giant, wiry, smart humanoid versus a 3 pound
right
bird that can't see in
like
the dark.
those claws are going to hurt. I do not want to get scratched by a chicken,
It'll be scratching,
but I'm
it'll be
not
clucking.
worried for my life immediately with the chicken.
yeah.
I don't know that a chicken could ever kill you.
I
Maybe
think
a rooster.
a
It's
rooster,
not-
yeah.
It's not 100. It's one of those things where it's like there's not 100% chance it won't kill you. There's 99. There's
It
still
can
a
give me
0.1%
sepsis.
chance. Yeah.
It can give sepsis. I think a highly motivated chicken could figure out how to pluck you in just the right spot to like just peck.
Yeah,
But
I mean, like, if
I'm not worried
sleeping,
about it.
If I get in my car and I fall asleep and it's a sneaky chicken and it comes
Yeah.
up, and
it's a chicken that just knew to wait and smother him.
Yeah, like the chances of you
it's on
dying,
my face, lays an
Just
egg
the-
in my mouth. I'm choking on the egg.
suffocation.
Wake it to the nose.
This isn't what I meant when I said I wanted to be dead.
Wait a minute. Wait.
It
But
also
yeah.
says a chicken, so it could just be the same chicken every time.
It could be.
An immortal chicken just
In your
doesn't
car.
die.
I mean, all the same to me. I'm just more confident in my ability to face the chicken than I am the orangutan.
It would just be annoying.
Yeah. Yeah.
But hey, the probability of you dying by chicken isn't 0.
It's low, but never 0. All right.
Just think about that one.
Or don't. Save yourself the trouble.
But what if you have to press the button?
Yeah, choose the
You
chicken.
got to be prepared for this.
True.
Get that.
Well, you prepare based on which button you press.
Yeah. Choose the chicken one probably for the
And
most
then
survival,
figure out
but
the logistics of it. Don't
Be
worry
vigilant.
too much about it.
be vigilant.
Work that default mode network. It's. Don't actually. It's bad. It's bad for
It's
you.
very bad. Speaking of bad for us, is there any update to this whole boyfriend situation?
So there is, but it definitely is not as crazy as last week.
got a
I
And it's
Boyfriend?
very anticlimactic. No.
maybe.
Possibly.
He
Yes.
wet the bed and that got him kicked out.
How did you know?
I'm freaking psychic, dude.
He is.
I keep telling you. I know things. Okay,
But
what
no,
actually, I'm
it's-
sorry. What actually happened?
Very anticlimactic in the sense that Lilly has went to her therapist who told her finally to break up with Josh. But it doesn't seem like Lilly is going to possibly be doing that.
Shocking.
And the whole part about Lilly trying to figure out whether she was going to send him back or not for the holiday. Yeah, she's basically doing that for like a couple days. And then she's also going to go out to see Josh for the holiday. So, yeah. Seemed like Lilly almost got there. And then she spent a little bit more time with Josh. And then it was just like, oh yeah, we're not doing that no more. So that whole Reddit post, that whole Reddit, channel, whatever you want to call it, subreddit. Yeah, she ain't taking y'all's comments, y'all's suggestions. She's doing her own thing. She gonna do her own thing.
Speaking of fucking delusional.
Do therapists? I didn't think therapists usually are like, Maybe they either.
I'm gonna guess that the therapist strongly recommended.
Yeah.
I
mean,
also heard. I was like,
yeah.
I don't think a therapist would actually just straight up say break up, even though they should more. No, they probably shouldn't. But yeah,
I don't know. So yeah, not a very
I'm not gonna say much on this.
not a very crazy update, but that's what we got so far. It's been 7 days since the original post, so
it has been the mood spoiler. Shit ain't looking good.
yeah. But hey, there may be another update soon. It's still a couple weeks before the holidays.
You can only just hope that eventually she'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it's unclear how bad it's going to have to get before that.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll work things out, but I really don't have hopes for that.
Yeah, I don't feel super strong about it either.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, you got to go back to the last episode because we're not
You do.
gonna get
Go
spoiled.
watch episode 41. You'll find out.
Like, comment, and I was gonna say subscribe on that episode, but subscribe to the channel.
Bro, subscribe on that episode too. And then so hit the button and then hit the button again to resubscribe if you haven't already.
Just click.
And then just keep clicking it and keep subscribing.
And hit the bell too.
And hit
so
the bell.
know.
Hit that bell. Hit that notification bell. But also make sure that you're just subscribed when you're done.
Yeah, especially if you're invested in everything that we're talking about, giving updates every week.
Yeah, this wonderful quality content we're putting out every week.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's me. I'm the content
He is the content.
Definitely.
they're putting out for me.
Putting up with you.
No.
We're putting out and putting out. Yeah.
I fucking love that. Putting up with you.
Oh, all right. Let's fucking the anticlimactics of the boyfriend situation. Let's end it off on a high note with capitalism.
Capitalism, yes. So I'm sure y'all been wondering this entire episode, what the fuck is Formz doing wearing an Amazon vest? What is he doing?
And before the hadn't even noticed comments.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let me tell you, first of all, I still have my full-time job and everything. This is just yet another one of my fun little side delivery gigs that I picked up. And,
Yeah, we believe it too.
yeah, so I'm still doing DoorDash on the side every once in a while. Not as much as I was before, but now I've picked up Amazon Flex. And I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about how that works. Yeah, basically Jeff Bezos is like, we don't got enough people to deliver all this shit, so let's just get regular civilians to go out, pay them shit, and then have them go out to do delivery stuff. And I say pay them shit, it's actually not terrible, which is why I'm actually doing it. But obviously it's less than what they pay their actual workers. But
When you say it's not terrible, how much are we talking?
so we're talking like at least the run that I did yesterday or 2 days ago, I was out for 2 hours and I made $80.
Shit, I might hop on that. Fuck.
So they come in blocks, right? So the block that I was set to work was from like 5 to like 8:30. But there wasn't a lot of packages in that block. So I was able to get it done in 2 hours.
So are you paid for the block or are you paid for the deliveries?
the block?
Oh, interesting.
So it's not like every delivery you get some money. It's like, okay, if you want to work this block, this is how much money you're going to get for it. Like right off the bat, before you sign up, which is good. I like that. They don't do that with DoorDash, right? With DoorDash is like you randomly get shit as you're dashing and you hope you get a certain number.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing pay by hour, right? Hourly pay, which you might not even get the hourly pay that they say you might get on average, right? It all depends on what orders you get and how long you're doing that order, essentially.
Right.
It's more complicated with DoorDash, essentially. That's all I'm saying.
You
Their
had a
pros.
thought.
Oh, yeah, we're going to say something?
So DoorDash exploits you by obfuscating their payment system, and Amazon exploits you by obfuscating the amount of labor you're going to have to do. So you're paid for a block, you have to do a certain amount of deliveries in that block. You don't know what it's going to be. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you get unlucky.
Yep.
And so I'm sure never mind. Yeah.
I mean, well, technically, yeah. I mean, you don't know how many packages you get until you get there, right? And then it's like, oh, I don't have to fill up my car to the brim, or I do have to fill my car up to the brim, and it's going to take they're going to send me out to, 40 minutes north to make deliveries in this town that's like in the middle of nowhere.
But you are delivering in the same general area.
No. Which is very weird. I'll talk about it. So the thing about Flex is there are pros and cons, reasons and things I like about it better than I do like DoorDash or something like that kind of delivery service. But again, essentially, it's another kind of wild card grab bag of you might be lucky today, you might not be lucky today. But I've only done like 2 blocks. I've signed up for 3 and missed one, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But
You told me a bit about it.
I don't know. I enjoy it. And I think a lot of this hinges on the fact that I just enjoy driving. I like driving. It's a mind clearer. I could play whatever the fuck I want. I listen to my podcast while I do shit. A lot of people don't. If you don't like driving or you're not comfortable driving, especially if you're in a very busy area, like it might be impossible for you to do stuff. But I personally like driving. The area here is not crazy. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I don't mind doing this stuff. But again, it's, you sign up for a block and they're like different blocks show up on your app. They have an app, obviously. And, sometimes there are different, Amazon work, warehouses rather in different areas of your city. It's like the big blue building with the blue Amazon logo. Like that's where you have to go in different parts of your city. Right. And if you manage to get a block, cause sometimes they pop up and the moment they pop up, they're gone cause someone grabs it. So you got to kind of get lucky there. Right. Every once in a while you might see one pop up, but for the most part, when you check the app, there's like nothing there because they're just getting grabbed up the moment they pop up. But when you do manage to get something, you have to be there within the 5-minute window that they tell you that you got to be there.
Oh, so you got to be near the place.
Yes.
Gotta be fucking on it.
Yes. And I learned that the hard way, if you're outside of that, they say, you missed it, go home, you fucked. Which to me, I don't get. Because it's like, and this isn't
the chronically late motherfuckers.
No, listen,
why
I understand.
Being on time is a little important.
I get it, but that's not why. Because it's like, okay, yeah, I understand if I'm late for something and there's penalties, I get it. But this doesn't make particular sense to me because it's like, okay, you're going to punish your customers for a driver being 5 minutes late because they're not going to get their shit.
They probably just roll it over to the
I was going to say, I think you vastly underestimate the conglomerate monster machine that is Amazon.
Maybe.
And more than likely, they are definitely...
They just put it up for grabs again, don't they?
You would think, but the way that they have these, like... And maybe they're a conglomerate, they just reprint all their shit.
Yeah, you
but
could easily shuffle that shit around.
I don't know. To me, the way that I've seen how they have it is very organized, but very unorganized. Organized to a point, but then very stressful and frustrating to at least understand and get where you need to get to, especially if you're just starting off. But like they have all of the packages and boxes and envelopes and stuff in these carts, in these bigger bags. And it's like they have a whole printed route for you. They like calculate a whole route for you for that time for that cart for each of those individual boxes, right? So you have to go and scan each box with the app to make sure that, okay, this is the person that's supposed to take these boxes on this route, which is why I'm like, okay, but if that person isn't there, you got to reroute that to a different person. It just seems like a lot of shit that the system would have to do and that the people there would have to make sure to do if you're going to assign it to a whole different person with maybe a whole different route, depending on the person, their car, et cetera, et cetera.
You're right that it appears to be a lot of labor that goes into that. I'd be curious what the reality is though, because if they're doing that, there has to be some kind of a reason. Whether the reason is just to make people more timely by giving them a more severe penalty,
Mhm.
and create the illusion of control, or whether if you're 5 minutes late, immediately that gets picked up and it goes back into the system, and they start the recalculation over again. They start the reprinting process right then and there, so they have it on for the next route.
Because also remember, most people, like with any delivery you get from Amazon, we all have gotten deliveries from Amazon. You get told like a 4-hour window in which that shit can get picked up. It's probably going to wind up. And I will say the last fucking 10 deliveries I've gotten from Amazon, maybe 2 of them bitches came in the window they told me it was going to come in. Almost every delivery I've gotten in like the last 2 years has been on the day. Most of them have been on the day I was supposed to get it, but I don't fucking think about, like, I see that 2-minute window, that fucking 2-3 hour window just gets updated every time it's almost the end of the window. Like that shit, they don't, I think it seems like a lot of work because it does seem like, because it's mostly, I'm responding particularly to your punishing the customer. I don't think the customer thinks about it that hard. And also, like, you just don't tell the customer a specific window.
Yeah,
you tell them until someone picks it up.
Yeah, and I think worst case scenario, maybe it's like a day late, but when everything's on 2-day delivery, people really don't notice it.
People don't notice and aren't paying that much attention to it.
Yeah, that's fair.
And if it's longer than that, then
yeah. And when you have, and once again, just when you have a machine this size, that not just the amount of moving parts within it, but now they're pulling in extra orbital parts and like gig workers and shit like that. We're talking a monster that is honestly kind of dystopic, but
it's extremely dystopic.
Yeah. We're talking just a machine that can work in a way that you do.
Gig work in and of itself is kind of inherently dystopic.
Yeah.
I say that there are some advantages, but there are also some disadvantages. Like, it allows people to very quickly and very easily pick up some form of employment. That's very positive.
As someone who's done that shit, like who's done gig work, yeah, it was a fucking godsend at the time in which I needed it.
But the system itself, I think, is kind of inherently exploitative because it allows you to have people who are doing labor for you without treating them like full employees, which I don't think is very
and it's powerful enough in which, like, the punishments and the rules in which they have you as workers working under have no translation to anything that goes on outside of it between its end. Like, you guys are so far removed from the end, even though you guys are literally the last thing before the end user, the impact you have on the end user is so far removed from any of that it's switching you out for being late, and for whatever the reasoning they have on that for being so strict is, I don't know. I'm not even going to pretend like I have a great guess as to why.
So that you get there in 5 minutes.
But I guess, that's the reason, is to encourage punctuality.
I mean, from what I have seen, the process that they have, at least the last time when I went the other day, they are very like, okay, this block, all these cars are for this block. Drive into the garage, pick up your shit, pack your car, and then leave the garage. Like, do it quick, get out of there, because we got this next block coming in right after.
You have to keep shit moving.
And there were cars like right behind us. Like the block behind us was literally, the cars were right behind us, waiting to load their car. Every
delay. So not even, because otherwise I could harp on like how evil Amazon can be. It's like not even thinking about that shit right now. Just like a operation of that size, every moving piece slows down the whole thing, and that ripples so fucking quickly. When I worked with Dominic and I was doing the robotic forklifts, like one of the main things we dealt with was making sure that traffic didn't get stopped up anywhere. So because of like all the safety features and shit with our vehicles, like you couldn't have too many of them in one spot, or you'd wind up with something called a deadlock. You couldn't have, we tried to create space so that if one of them is turning into a spot, it had enough clearance around it that other ones could still go around it and not get stopped up. There was like R&D going on with creating dynamic pathing and all types of shit like that, which also gives away into like more integration with AI vehicles, so that becomes less of an issue. But like a lot of stuff like that, like a lot of stuff, especially when it comes to factories, is about keeping things moving as quickly and efficiently as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And so the killer for factory and assembly line work and stuff like that is something slowing. It's a slowdown in one area will cause a slowdown in everything downstream of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the main goal, humanely or not, is to minimize those slowdowns as much as possible,
Mm-hmm.
which involves getting you fuckers in and out as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and it makes sense for sure. So, but yeah, no, like, I don't know. It was, I gotta say, my first flex time dash or whatever was way more relaxed. Like, I did not feel rushed in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
And it took a lot more time because while they tell you to go to a certain, warehouse, from that warehouse, you could go anywhere in that city within like 30 minutes. From that warehouse in particular.
Okay.
So like you drive to the warehouse and from 30 minutes from there, they could tell you to go north, south, east, west, whatever. And then that's your area for your route. So like my first time, they told me to go north, like 20 minutes to the warehouse. And they basically told me to go another like 30, 40 minutes north from that.
Jesus.
To deliver on a route.
It's like fucking Rockford at that point, isn't it?
Well, that's up in Sparta.
Oh shit!
I was way up there, and it was like 45 minutes back down here.
Close-ish.
So, but that route, once you get to your route, though, once you get to your route, it's only like 2-3 minutes every delivery you're driving. So, in the category of like gas, depending on where you're starting with your warehouse and where they tell you to go, right?
Which I imagine there's probably, just like DoorDash, there's probably some hidden like tier system in which seniority / harder worker / longer longevity will get you much more favorable routes. Yeah, if I had to guess,
DoorDash does have a tier system.
And I'm saying Amazon would probably have something.
Oh, they do too.
Much
Yeah,
like
they
that.
do too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Like I think the more you deliver, the higher tier you go. That 5-minute window does change. I think to like 10, 15. I think, unless I'm thinking that that's something different.
They really fucking gamified that shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they definitely do. But yeah, like once you get on your route, every delivery is just like 2-3 minutes. Like you could be delivering to a house, and it's the house across the street for your next delivery. So really, it's just about how you stack your car with your packages. And they make it a little simple because they label each box with like a big number and a letter to make it easier for you to like recognize and see. So I don't know. In the category of like gas that you're spending and wasting or whatever, Amazon Flex seems to be a little bit more gas friendly, if you can even say that, because with DoorDash you're kind of driving around constantly back and forth. But yeah, like
whereas with Amazon it's more or less a commute to where you got to go, and then you're there for a few minutes.
But that could also be a down, a negative of Flex, because they could send you to somewhere that's terrible or like hard to navigate, and you have to be there for your entire route. So if it's like a very busy place, very busy trafficy area, you're pretty much, navigating all these cars, all these roads that are, if you're out in Timbuktu, like maybe there are no signs, maybe there are no actual paved roads, right? So you're just like running on dirt or grass or in fields trying to deliver some stuff. You never know. You have to walk a certain distance to get to a house or a barn or something that they tell you to deliver to. So, there's, goods and bads. I've only delivered and done like 2 blocks so far, so I'm not super deep into it. But so far, my experience has been pretty good. And the money has been, again, so far, better than DoorDash. Especially DoorDash recently, for sure, for me. So, I don't know. Again, could be for you, could not be for you. I like driving. If you don't like driving, don't even think about it.
Motherfucker, did you spend this entire time trying to shill people into doing this?
No.
Motherfucker, Amazon don't pay us.
He's an op.
Amazon
don't fucking pay
ultimately is trash, right? I'm not telling them that they, don't sponsor us, please. Well,
oh no, we'll say whatever you want if you sponsor us.
But
fucking greatest country on the great.
Amazon's the greatest country on the
face of the earth. Yeah, that's what.
I was going to take this thing off the moment I finished talking about it, but I didn't talk about it till the end of the episode. We take it off now. But to the point of saying, I don't think that everything Amazon does is great. Absolutely not. They suck. But if you need extra cash and you don't mind driving,
it's not a terrible.
It's not a terrible job. I don't know what other people may be telling you, but
says a dude with a full-time job, a brand new car, and all the flexibility in the world to do so. If that came off salty as fuck, but
I feel like you were trying to point out his privilege, but instead it sounded like you were real bitter.
It's both. No, I'm pointing out some of the barriers that can come in with that type of shit.
Yeah, like again, the area we're in is nice too. I don't know. Not everybody will have the same opportunities.
Yeah,
I understand.
It's not a terrible idea. Move to Michigan. Did y'all see people apparently? Grand Rapids has the weirdest bad reputation that I don't understand. Like there's apparently so I just saw this Facebook post and it was about some person in fucking Tennessee was thinking about moving here and they were told to not move here because the area is terrible. And it's like,
Grand
y'all
Rapids?
fucking seen Grand Rapids? Like,
I've seen people say it's boring because there's nothing to do but drink.
That's fair. That's fair.
It really depends on what you want to do. But I could see that because everybody here likes to keep to themselves. Is not a ton. Isn't a huge social scene, but there is.
But there's still shit that goes on here. But it's like Festival of the Arts, Art Prize, like some summer shit that we do, a lot of winter stuff that we do. But it was more in the vein of like
LA, but it things.
But it's more in the line of like crime ridden and just dangerous area. And it's like,
oh really?
Mm-hmm.
The fuck are y'all talking about?
That's just...
And then it's always followed up with someone going, it's the libs. And I was like, that's what's going on.
I don't know. Anytime I hear Michigan being talked about in that tense and about any city, somebody always attaches it to Detroit somehow. Yeah. They always bring it back to Detroit.
That's the real thing.
I've never
That's what it is.
Detroit really isn't that bad.
Detroit's not that bad at all. There's like one area of Detroit that's like kind of not great. And the rest of it is just a big city.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. People are always weird about.
I don't know shit about Detroit. I ain't gonna say shit about Detroit.
Right. Like,
I don't really either, but that's
either Detroit or Flint. That's the
Flint, especially nowadays, yes.
Yeah, working in Canada, that's like everyone's perception of Michigan in Canada was based on what they heard through the news about Flint. And I was like, y'all, okay.
Flint has been really well known as a like poverty hotspot for a while, though.
Yeah, it's like
I remember reading like books set in Flint about how poor people were. Like, as a kid.
There's definitely truth to it, absolutely. Yeah. But it's like the entirety of Michigan is not Flint.
As extreme as people make.
Yeah, that's right. We also have trees.
As it turns out, we have a lot of them fuckers
and corn.
So much corn and deer. Don't forget the deer.
Yeah, we're sorry. Yeah, trees specifically is what we're apparently
That's
known.
Why you apologize? This is where you apologize for the your mom joke.
Which one?
I just felt like it was getting to be a bit much.
All right, fair. You know what? Fair enough.
Don't expect it from me again, but it did happen once.
You're right. You know what? I should be thankful for my blessings.
Count them.
Count them.
Fluff, you're out of frame.
Oh shit! Okay,
sit your ass back over here. We did this for you.
Did you know that Detroit was at one time the wealthiest city in the world?
Makes sense.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
Automotive
when
capital.
They were building tanks.
Oh, that'll do it. Yeah, I don't think I ever knew that we built tanks here. I had no idea. It makes sense. It makes total sense, but
they really don't like to talk about that. But I mean, well,
who do we build them for?
We built them for World War II.
I was gonna say we just built shit because like that was pretty well known.
Well, I mean, World War II is where the military-industrial complex, from my understanding.
But that's where America entered its prosperous age. Was World War fucking II.
Yeah, because we created the military-industrial complex.
Yeah.
Anyways,
And then it all went to shit.
and they, really pisses me off.
I wish we were still cranking out tanks like.
Well, no, it's
hotcakes.
just like people like to be like capitalism, right? Like pretend like government interference never did fucking shit for anybody. The only reason America's prosper, well, one of the primary reasons for America's prosperity is the government intervention in the fucking World War II, which resulted in the military-industrial complex. There's a massive transfer of wealth that goes from the government directly to companies because they create military equipment. In fact, it is the largest thing that the U.S. spends fucking money on, and then people like to go around pretending like we don't have money for poor people. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Anyways.
Right. Right.
But it's a tiny RC drone that can attack the enemy and do recon.
And
It's
we need millions of them.
$10,000 per drone, but
We need millions of them.
10,000?
I think it's more than that.
I was about to say only 10,000. Like
It's 100,000.
there you go.
It's closer. It's probably even more.
Right. It's probably close to the millions, if not in the millions per drone. Because you got to justify that budget, man.
And
If
you
you're
need
talking
hundreds of
about-
them for some reason.
Talking about like
Freedom, bro.
actual large like reconnaissance drones, then yeah, definitely like millions.
Easily.
Now I'm sad. What's this anime?
All right. Yeah. Let's end it off on this anime. 365 days to the wedding. 365 days to the wedding. Izzy, what is this?
It's kind of it's a slice of life.
There is a
romantic
synopsis.
comedy.
Awesome.
If
Would you
wanna-
like me to read that? The
Sure.
synopsis here?
if you want to.
All right. Takuya and Rika work at the same travel agency in Tokyo and are both happily introverted and single. Happily introverted and single. I love it. But their company is opening a new branch in Alaska next year. What
Damn.
the fuck?
If you're introverted and single, I think Alaska would be a great option for you.
All right.
And employees without a spouse will be recruited to work there. Desperate to avoid the move, and though they're hardly spoken before, they decide to fake an engagement. Can these quiet coworkers become a convincing couple?
That sounds like some spy shit.
Yeah, that sounds cute as fuck. What is going on here?
Spy X Family shit.
Yeah, actually, that's pretty close to kind of what's going on.
Okay.
Wait, there's one of them is one of them's an assassin.
assassin.
One of them's
and
a
one's an
super spy.
international
And
spy.
one of
And
them
one of them
has
has a psychic child.
powers.
Yes.
That's crazy, dog.
Also a super smart dog.
I love
yeah.
that. That dog's so good.
Mm.
I love Spy X Family so much.
It is really good.
But
I
I don't
was
know.
so excited when he got an anime. Anyways,
I sort of watched it on a whim. I was like, this looks kind of stupid, but whatever. And it's pretty good. It's slice of life, low stakes kind of stuff.
Cute a little bit, kind of wind down,
Yeah. But like
calming.
basically they decide to pretend that they're going to get married and they're just going to play it off super under the radar. But of course, everybody finds out. And the guy's dad comes into town and
Makes a whole deal of it, probably.
and there's like somebody spreading the rumor. There's actually like somebody calling them on the phone and being like,
Oh.
I'll know you're not together.
Damn.
I know your secret. You are shacking up.
But it's got to be somebody inside the company, right?
Maybe.
Call is coming from inside the company.
Because if they're not married, then they have to go to Alaska.
They'd have to still go there.
Which is a crazy rule.
That is a crazy rule. Like, all right, no volunteers. If you're single, go to Alaska.
I mean, I feel like that would prompt all of them to try to shack up real
go to
quick.
Alaska or get fucking fired.
Right.
I'll just go to fucking Alaska, dude.
I watched.
I don't know about that one.
I mean, I'm trying to think about what Alaska even. I just have not looked up pictures of Alaska or Alaskan cities.
A lot of snow.
I mean, I figured it was a lot, but I was like, is that just what
I think that's
society
what-
tells me?
and
Like,
What the hell?
think that's what it's
Alaska's
like
very remote. Okay.
And you don't speak the language very well.
I think we also assume, like, as an introvert, I'm gonna have to ask what the internet situation is out in the place that you're shipping me off to.
I think it really depends. I don't think it's great, I'll be honest. But Alaska's it's way up there, so it has really heavy winters. It has really long winters, I believe. Nature's fucking beautiful, though.
I just realized that what we're doing is exactly what people were doing to Michigan in our last conversation.
I mean, in fairness, yes.
But I mean,
Continue. Sorry.
if you're comfortable fucking with Elon Musk, you probably get a Starlink and then just fucking play video games while your company kills itself in Alaska.
Fair.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to do in your life, me, I would rather.
I think
that's
I would rather
basically-
just get
yeah,
with
that's
the
what I'm
cute
doing.
coworker that's willing to fake marry me. Personally,
Yeah.
you'd have fun in Alaska.
I'm gonna find a hardy Alaskan woman or man, yet to be determined, and we're gonna make some hardy children together. They're gonna work the land while I play video games.
There it is. That's what we were waiting for.
Happy for you. Happy for you.
I'm gonna adopt 15 children.
The white ones specifically.
Specifically,
None of those black children.
they deserve a loving home, not a
They
laborious home.
deserve a loving home.
This is how we finally get reparations.
You adopt all the white children and put them to camp, put them to forced labor.
in Alaska.
You don't like how this feels, do you?
Bro, I think I just prefer the check, man. Like, this doesn't make me feel good at all.
This will teach your great grandfather.
Sorry, kids, you got to feel it too.
Oh shit, she blushed. That's crazy.
They do get
This looks really fun though. I
It
love
does look like a fun
it.
show.
I love a slow perm rom-com, man.
It looks charming for sure.
it's pretty good. They get into some surprisingly deep, like neurodivergent and childhood trauma type stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. That's when okay.
All right, we got a new anime to start watching.
I really
I love how the moment you said trauma, we're like, yes,
Yes.
sign me.
All right,
love
in
some
fairness,
trauma.
it wasn't that he said trauma, is that they explore it properly.
Yeah, no, I just
Yeah.
think it's just the dynamic is
But
hilarious.
boy,
to
do I
me.
love a woman with daddy issues.
And there it is.
she calls me
No, this is really cute. I think we'll have to. It's only the 10 episodes so far, right? Is it?
Yeah.
Is
Still
it just
going?
10 episodes?
I've seen up to episode 8.
Is it?
It's
Do you-
still coming out.
Okay, it is still
Okay.
airing. Well, we can catch up on that pretty quickly.
because it's shit like this is always fun to watch, but the
Yeah.
really truly good shit that happens like this happens when they touch on the like internal.
I thought you were gonna
reasons.
stop it when they
I was
touch.
going to, but I was like, nah, I do this joke enough.
Well, they touch on the like because the internal reasons why somebody ends up in this kind of a situation. One of my favorite ones that is similar to this, where like some guy ends up fucking moving in and becoming a house spouse for this woman. It's a webtoon. It's not just like a slow burn, like will they, won't they? At some point, they have to confront the fact that the reason that they're in this situation, the reason that they're not willing to commit to romance, has something to do with like shit that has hurt them, or insecurities that they have, or the way that they think and they can't operate or connect with people normally. And then they have to confront that and overcome it, or like So that is.
There's a whole lot of not operating and connecting properly. Trust me.
We love this.
Just
idiot.
like me and my penis. All right.
Okay. We'll explore that topic another day, guys.
I was gonna say, I love. We know
Yeah,
the audience.
they'll find out. I'm sure they will.
Well, yeah, no, it's what makes these from something that's like mildly entertaining to something that's like really a really good watch. So I'm excited to.
I'm very much down to watch this. It looks like a fun time. It looks like it's not taking itself too seriously.
Yeah,
And so having those moments
comedy,
of
silly most of the
Looks
time.
cute.
so having those moments of like levity and what is generally a pretty lighthearted series is always fun.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, we just need something else to watch. We've caught up on most of the stuff we've been watching. Though I have been seeing rumblings about Apothecary's Diary.
Ooh.
It's going to be starting
Season 2?
Yeah, I guess it's starting to air in like fucking Portugal or some shit.
Damn.
Or somewhere.
Must be fans.
I guess so. Yeah.
Guess we're moving to fucking Portugal.
Hell yeah. With our new sponsor, ExpressVPN now.
Dude, if we got ExpressVPN sponsors fucking everybody. So
Yeah, I use ExpressVPN. That would be an awesome sponsor to have.
Mm.
I'm bleeping all of this out. You don't get our support for free. Yeah, no, this is cute, and I am excited to start watching it, and I think that's going to be a dope thing to talk about sometime in the future.
heck yeah, I think that sounds excellent. Is that where we're going to American Girl for today?
Well, now that you asked, no.
No.
Now we have to continue.
All right, guys. I'll see you later.
That's fair. Well, yeah, that is probably where we're going to end it off tonight.
Anything else can be pushed next week?
Everything else can be pushed next week. I want to talk about Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. I've been playing through that. It's fucking Legend of Zelda game that is in the style of I forget the name of this thing, Link's Awakening. It's in that same world style, art style.
When did you get it?
I got it when I got the root canal, so I got it Friday.
Oh, okay.
So I played it a little bit over the weekend. Have played it for a couple days. I
got a root canal, by the way.
Not a root canal, actually. I got a tooth removal. Straight up extracted it. I said a root canal, didn't I?
Yeah.
I told him while you were in the bathroom.
Okay. So you know. Okay.
No. Ruben's down a couple. It's funny. I had 2 teeth removed, but I'm only down a single tooth on average. It's weird because I had an extra wisdom tooth.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right.
So, but yeah, no. Been playing through that. It's a fun game. It's a Zelda game. It's honestly, I have a lot of thoughts about it. Pretty positive thoughts, just about the way that they're incorporating. I was telling this to Izzy. What'd you say?
I said a woman.
Huh?
Zelda is the main character for the.
She is?
Yeah, you said the thoughts about how they're incorporating, and then I said a woman. It was a joke. It's really funny.
If you're not laughing in the comments right now,
Let us know.
It's really. It's not up to you. See
If you understood what his joke was, you let me know in the comments.
Series. They're incorporating a woman as the centerpiece of the video game.
That's the joke.
That
the
is the joke.
It's really funny.
It's really funny. Come on, laugh, guys. It's so funny.
laugh.
No, it's a really cool. Like they're incorporating elements, kind of some design philosophies from Breath of the Wild, but I'll get into that next week.
Oh, really? Okay.
Just like as far as world traversal goes, you're not as boxed in as you normally would be with a style of game like this. It's not open world like Breath of the Wild, but it's not.
How is that even possible?
We'll get into
open world.
We'll get into it.
Okay.
And we still got to talk about Cyberpunk, but we'll get to that eventually.
Okay.
But that's it for us tonight. We'll actually end this off at a fucking decent time in a decent
I can't
hour.
believe what's going on. This is crazy.
You're gonna wait. I'm gonna keep pushing it back if you keep trying to make me end it.
You're the one who was ending it. Stay gay.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye.
Sorry.
You're fine.
No, we're bringing it back. Actually, we're bringing it back.
No, fuck that. Come back.
Go back.
I guess we're talking about this now.